Hold up. I'm back.
It's working now.
Hey.
We did it.
Yeah. We fucked the mic pre-stream, like literally 2 minutes before we went live. Assumed it worked, and then it didn't work. All right. What up, y'all? We had a lot of subs pre-stream. Evan, let's give him some love.
All right. So we had Silver Grizzle subscribed with Prime. Memory Garden 7, subscribed with Prime, third month in a row. 4 After Ever subscribed with Prime for 4 months. Love Wookie subscribed with Prime for the first time. Mr. Funkadizzle, Prime 7 months. Almighty Spaz, Prime 5 months in a row. MCXL, fuck that guy, 31 months in a row.
I think your sub-message was kill me.
Yeah. The Wee Beastie resubscribing with Prime for 5 months. Reaper Miniatures rated us, 41 people.
Reaper.
Paint Liquor resubscribed 15 months. Gone for only a few days, and it's amateur hour all over again. True story. Tabletop Collective resubscribed to Tier 1 9 months in a row. Can't believe it's been almost a year already. Well, you're 3/4 of the way there. And then we just had one come in from Buckshot 87 and Wader 64, converted from a Prime Gaming sub to a Tier 1 sub, going to give us real money now rather than real fake money. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everybody, for all the subs. Really appreciate it, guys. Confree asks, where did I get my wolf bust in the background? It was from Level 52 Studios, the parent company of Broken Anvil Miniatures. I don't think they make it anymore. I think it was a limited edition bust. If my voice sounds hoarse, I'm not sick at all. I just talked a lot over the weekend, so I have a rough voice. Param Underhill with the 5 gifted subs. Thank you. Alexi gifting a sub to Joe MN. Joe MN, make sure to thank your gift. And Jay Peso with the sub. Y'all are coming in hot with the
It's going to be the whole stream. We're just going to be thanking people for subscribing.
Hey, man. I'm good with that.
I'm fine with that, too.
Thank you guys so much for the gifted subs. Today, we're going to do a Adepticon haul in the beginning, and then we're going to continue painting, Neferata, who I am including in my 1250-point list. And so I want to paint her up because honestly, I fucking love Neferata. She is the coolest vampire from like a story perspective in all of AOS and Warhammer Fantasy Battle lore. She is my favorite. So yeah, Huddleston with the sub. Thank you, Huddleston.
We got a baby. I'll name him Cletus.
Okay, Cletus. New book, baby. Yeah, new Soulblight book got announced at Adepticon. Excited to see what that has in store for my favorite boner boys.
What it has in store is more Age of Sigmar, your favorite game.
Yes, maybe they'll make me OP and I'll crush Evan's dragons. I know some of the stream viewers, namely Rufus Kit, got a little taste of the Dragon's Fury while at Adepticon.
He deserved it.
Evan committed war crimes. No, he did. It was 2K, so it was allowed. No.
That's right.
Adepticon was hype, question mark? It was very hype. It always is very hype. Every year it gets crazier and crazier. And this year was no exception. So let's do it. Let's crack it open. We'll also talk about Adepticon while painting Neferata afterwards. And we'll also bring up things that are relevant to the various items that I show. So first things first, because this is just nearby me, a viewer who came to the Wednesday night meet and greet showed up and they just gave me the 3rd edition Malifaux rulebook and 2 squads. There's the book and 2 squads and the cards and everything, all the assets for the warbands, just ready to rock. Half of these are just fully painted. I don't know if you guys recognize this model or not. But yeah, these absolute amazing generosity. So we'll have to crack this game open, take a look at the rules. Just because we have everything we need to like try the game out. So
yeah, now we have to like play it on stream, right? So
yeah, which like honestly, I've demoed this game, but like I feel like demos don't really do it any justice trying to figure out like what makes this game special. Obviously it has cards that it uses for RNG instead of dice, but like there's more to the game that makes it special than just that. And so we want to try it out. Oh, there goes the head.
What'd you do?
Sorry, viewer. But yeah, we got all the things we need to play Malifaux, other than terrain, which they make some amazing cardboard terrain. We got Eon's Battle in the chat saying, hell yeah, Malifaux! The blue sidekick, thank you for the sub, appreciate it. Or gifting a sub to Applesauce Mouse. All right. I had canes and cakesters yesterday because of you. Nice. I don't know why. We don't like cakesters, okay? Cakesters are dead. All right, let's get on with the haul. I went to this booth that made this game called War Gods. They had several factions, and I bought the Hyperborea one. I bought this model called the Ice Witch. Definitely got a vintage feel to her, but the model is a very nice sculpt. Not too many details, lots of nice exposed flesh. The details make sense. She's kind of floating on her cape. The painted version at the booth looked phenomenal, and it sold me on buying the actual model. But a cool thing about this game, we didn't demo this game, we just I just asked the people about it. A cool thing about this game is at the beginning of the turn, you take all the actions that a unit can do. You have them as like tokens, and you put the actions face down near the unit. So at the beginning of the turn, you have to kind of premeditate what every unit in your faction is going to do. So it's face down next to the model, and it might say advance or turn left or turn right or reform or whatever it is, or charge or attack. And then your opponent has the opportunity to activate your unit by flipping that token and making them do something, maybe prematurely, too early, and stuff like that. So it's like a really interesting mechanic, because like you have to consider how the activation order will work, and like maybe if your opponent does this unit before you want it to happen, it might screw it up. So not necessarily like any other game, but like a different way to think about activations and change up the gameplay. So that was kind of cool. Robo Rally, didn't try that. Cakesters are dead, long live cakesters. Useless Wizard, it was good seeing you at Acon this year. Looking forward to seeing what you think of Malifaux. Absolutely, Useless Wizard. Good to see you as well. Y'all played Don't Look Back. Yeah, Don Haney loves Don't Look Back, and he taught us the game and has a full painted like set for the game. Speaking of Don Haney, not this Thursday, because this next Thursday is the 5th Thursday of the month.
Secret Thursday.
See the secret one. But the following Thursday, Don Haney will be live on stream teaching us how to play Frostgrave. So, hell yeah. All right, next thing.
It's gonna be sick, y'all.
Next thing we got here is Poku. It is one of the fantasy busts from Nico Galaxy. Evan on top of those camera changes.
I always have been. I've never missed a camera change in my life.
This is true. This is a beautiful model from Nico Galaxy. Her breasts are going to look a little strange because she is covering them with her arm and she's like holding like a chalice and stuff. But this is truly a beautiful model. And I always like kind of like witchy vibes and shit like that. But yeah, she's covering her breasts like this, and like her left hand's like all ritually scarred and stuff. And so like this model just kind of oozes nefarious vibes, and I'm all about that. So very beautiful model. I already have a model from this range. This is the elf one, but I still wanted to support Nico Galaxy for kind of coming out to the show. And you know, it's a risk for these small companies to spend so much money on travel and also renting a booth space, and so I kind of wanted to support them. And also I fucking love the models. So.
Yeah, their models are sick. It seemed like they were selling pretty well from what I saw.
Excellent. You backed that KS? Awesome, so did I, yeah. What up from the UK? First time on the stream, but long time YouTube viewer. God, I wish I could try Cane's. It's not that amazing, okay? Let me dial it back a little bit. We kind of ham it up. It's pretty fucking good. The sauce is fucking good. It's cooked pretty well. You know, it's moderately priced. We just like to eat it for lunch. It's good, but it's not like, I fear that it's not gonna blow your socks off. Okay, next thing in the books. Nice. Nico
Not sponsored.
Chef's Kiss. Yeah, it's not a sponsor. So I got a Bushido warband given to me by the lovely people at the Bushido booth. They let us demo the game. And the demo didn't really expose a lot of what makes the game great. But one thing that it did that I really enjoyed was that when you go to attack someone, this value, which is like the number of dice used in combat. And both the attacker and the defender get to bid dice, and you get to bid dice, you get to like allocate how much dice you want to give to attacking and how much you want to give to defending. So for instance, this probably wouldn't happen, but you can attack someone and bid all your dice for defense, and the defender can bid all the dice for attacking. And then really, you're not attacking, you are defending now.
And it's done in secret.
Yes.
You reveal at the same time. That's the important thing.
Yeah. The guy who demoed the game to me said that a lot of people who like Bushido came over from Guild Ball when Guild Ball ended, and I was kind of like, oh. So yeah, that got me excited.
How to get you to play.
I know. Honestly, a couple other vendors mentioned Guild Ball to me, and I was like, are you guys just fucking trying to bait me right now?
This is the problem with being known, is you never know if someone's being sincere with you.
Yeah. Hey, Scott.
Do they know me, or do they just think that Guild Ball is cool?
Yeah, that's, we'll have to find out, I guess, now that I have a warband, we can try it out. Someone said, nice to see you again. Those Nico sculpts are so damn sexy, my goodness, and what a treat to see those box arts in person.
Sexy.
That was amazing. Yeah, they had the box arts for Nico Galaxy there in person, and I actually spoke to Mindwork Games while I was there, and they told me that they sell less models when people can see the box arts. And I've heard whispers of things related to that, and I'm kind of curious, like if that's true for other people as well, because I love seeing them. I don't get discouraged by beautiful painted models, but I know some people who do, and that's like valid for sure. In Guild, it is Guild Ball, so it can't be that they think it was good. Wait, what? Easy Mark mentioned Guild Ball. Mike Genie, I saw you at the con, my friend, but then we never crossed paths again, and I have some sadness about that. You caught me when we came back from a literal 3.5 hour dinner, and I was just like, we need to do something. I felt like we had missed out at the con, so I was rushing away. But let's take a look at some of these pewter Bushido models.
It's all right. Mike Genie got a lot of time with me.
Oh, that's good.
I'm almost as good, so.
Yeah, absolutely. Here, I'm gonna zoom in a little bit. Are we zoomed in on the camera digitally? I think we are.
Yeah.
We are.
I think we're 2x punched on this camera normally.
Okay. So a nice pewter model. I will zoom in more just so we can see these lovely figs in greater detail. Nice simple model, nothing incredible, just a nice little archer. These are all East Asian aesthetic. And I want to see, this is the one I want to see. This is like the leader of the unit. Look at this. She's got a snake draped around her arm, and like the head is right there. It's got like a little thing tied to it, like it's a pet. But this is like the leader of the warband. So fucking cool. We got another like kind of rogue-like dude. I love it. This model, I could paint this model in an hour easily, and it would look good. It doesn't have a lot of stuff going on, so it wouldn't take too long. Also, it's reasonably sized, not a very big figure. Just kind of looking to see if I had like a GW model somewhere on my desk to compare it to, but I don't seem to. Let's check out the other ones. Kind of a bigger dude. Got a little bit of scuff on his forehead, but that's okay, not a huge deal. They don't really have eyes. They have kind of like eye sockets and like bottom lids and like an upper lid, but there is no actual eye, which that is difficult to deal with. You have to kind of do some interpretation.
Team Fuck Eyes.
Team Fuck Eyes is coming in strong.
They're just squinting angrily because they're all samurai.
That's what it is.
That's really what it is.
This is Bushido is a racist game. No,
I don't think that's racist. It's just a classic Kurosawa thing where they're both like, getting ready for the strike.
This is for the game Bushido, the almighty spaz. But yeah,
pretty cool.
The game seemed totally fine. Definitely want to try it out. I don't know how to get this thing back in here. I guess we'll do that later. Okay, what is next? Man, I got some fucking special things in here, y'all. Okay, so I walked by the War Machine booth, and some of their new shit is fucking like so cool. If I can show you, did I try Rem Racers? No, I didn't. Curtis really wanted to play that game, and then we never actually did. We were actually standing by Rem Racers, and we would have done a demo if someone came up to approach us, but someone else from a different nearby booth came and got us and then brought us over back to their booth
Oh yeah, that's right.
to play their game called Omicron Protocol or something like that. But we did want to try out Rem Racers. They played a lot of fucking games at Adepticon. It was amazing. But this, there was a couple cool models at the War Machine booth. The new, I don't know if they have new sculptors. They definitely have like a lot of new painters. But like this model looks fucking sick. Iris, and then this model, the Queen of the Damned.
Yeah.
Like these models just look really fucking cool. And they're painted really nicely as well. That War Machine 4th edition, I don't know what edition it is.
It says Mark IV on the top, so I'm assuming that's 4th edition.
Mark IV right there. There we go, 4th edition. How was Omicron? You know what? I remember literally nothing about that game. Because I was just like, I don't know why. The demo was it wasn't even a demo. It was like
just a brief talk through of it.
Yeah, it was like 5.
I played it at Gen Con, or a demo of it at Gen Con. It seemed pretty neat. The bear was pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Useless Wizard says that he has the model at his desk. It's pretty nice. And this is what I want to talk about, actually. So, guy's model's home, very excited. Saw the side here. It says this is 3D printed resin. Not an issue at all. I was like, okay, cool. We have, they're trying out something new with producing their models with the 3D print farm as opposed to resin casting. Like, it doesn't matter how the models are made as long as they look good. So I wanted to check out the model. So let's look at it together. I don't know. I'm a little disappointed. Considering that there are supports that start on the model and go to the model, and they're still on the model. Like, I've never bought a 3D printed manufactured thing, like from a big company. I see P3 as a big company. And I feel like the model shouldn't come with support still on it. Like, that should have been cleaned up. And like, it shouldn't have little dots on the bottom from where supports got removed. Like, I feel like I shouldn't feel like I can print a better model in my basement. And you know what? It kind of feels like I can. It's hard to tell, obviously, because like this might be more brittle and not as like damage resistant as this one. And also, you know, this is a darker gray resin, so maybe it's just gonna show off the model better than a lighter gray color would. But yeah, I don't know. This wasn't very compelling. But maybe we'll find out more when it gets primed. And all this shit on there, I don't like that.
I mean, like, yeah, I agree with you that it's like they should do that cleanup, or maybe they should just supply it on the supports. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you know, you get a model on sprue, you're expected to do a bunch of cleanup and assembly anyway, so.
Yeah.
If they set the expectation right, I guess it's fine, but I kind of agree with you. They removed all the main supports, but not the little hair ones that go from part to part. It's a little weird. I will say I did assemble a mini last night that I found, you know, the masters were obviously 3D printed, and they forgot to remove one of the little supports on the model before they put it in the master, so it's there on everyone.
Yeah.
That I had to cut it off.
Ben says you wouldn't expect people to clean up mold lines on plastic injection molded models. Definitely a fair point. So maybe supports are the mold lines of 3D printed models when it comes to buying mass-produced figs from big companies.
Yeah.
And that consumers should just expect to have to clean up supports. I would say that the little holes on the bottom of the cape and stuff, those are okay, but like full-on supports that run from the chin to the breasts and hair and stuff like that should probably be cleaned up by the company. I don't know if that is a fair criticism. Also, Rufus mentions that the light gray definitely doesn't show off details nicely, but you know, you can kind of tell when a model looks nice and when it doesn't look nice. And this model has a lot of like little studs and buttons on it and stuff. And I think these studs and buttons could probably be a little bit better rendered. So, you know, I would be interested in like trying to print this STL myself and just to see how good it is. Because at the moment, it kind of just feels like they charge $15 for this thing, and like, I don't know, I could probably buy an STL similar to this and print it off in my house, and it would cost like $3.
Yeah,
So,
or less.
Yeah, or less. It could be even less. So I don't know.
I do like that sculpt though. It's a good mini.
Yes, that is the thing. The box art and the sculpt is fucking cool. And there was a whole warband that was like undead elf things that wasn't available yet. And they didn't look undead. They just look like evil elves with like sci-fi elements on them.
Vampire elves, something in that territory.
Yeah, they called them vampire elves, but they did not look like vampire elves. If everyone's about to give me shit for saying how I never liked vampire elves, and now I am. They didn't look like vampires at all. They look like dark elves. And they're fucking cool looking, so I can't wait for that faction too.
Vampires.
Yeah, I want to try out War Machine. Gets a lot of negative press, and maybe it deserves it, but yeah, I want to try it out. And these models look fucking sick. Coco, thanks for the sub. I don't know. I bought my prints from small companies and they clean them really well. Right. Yeah, that's another thing. It's like, what does the community expect? What do smaller producers do? Like, what is the current status quo? Like, all that stuff matters. Like, comparing them to a different medium isn't the best comparison. I'm maybe more curious about like what do other companies do that use 3D printing as a manufacturing method.
Yeah.
New sea trolls look badass from Privateer Press. Nice. They were high elves that got lichified. Oh, nice. Yeah, that sounds fucking sick. Yo, saw you at Adepticon, but I figure you have enough people always coming up to you. I mean, I do, but that does not mean that you should feel bad about wanting to chat with me at all. I try to get everyone the time of day when they come up to me. I walked into the Mordheim room, and instantly I was handed a beer and also this spell book for 5th edition D&D. And the art in this book is fucking sick.
Opens to a white page. What a pro.
We will zoom out a little bit so you can see this better. Why charge a premium unless you're taking care of the nuisances of printing? That's kind of how I feel as well. The prints from the non-US print house seem to be better. Interesting. Useless Wizard, I wonder if you could send us a picture of your Queen of the Damned, just so we could do a little comparison. But yeah, like this book has just a ton of really cool art in it, and it's designed to be a spell book for 5th edition D&D. So like a partial supplement, just to kind of like give you some more stuff to work with.
It's pretty cool.
It's very punky, you know. It's got a very cool punk vibe. But yeah, that room was a lot of fun. Okay, next up, I got Pizza Boy. How could I not get Pizza Boy from Mindworks Studio? This is like a kind of like a modern figure of a kid who's taking a selfie with his phone next to a pizza box that's like melting. I'm gonna have a lot of fun painting this. I'm gonna put like Scar's pizza logo, my favorite pizzeria, on the box, and I'm gonna like have a lot of fun. I've never painted a model on my channel of someone who wasn't Caucasian, so this is gonna be a fun attempt for me. I've painted models before with black skin tones, but I don't know the right approach. I've never really experimented a ton. I've tried some very minimal things, but not a lot. So it's gonna be good to like officially do that on my channel and see like what I can actually accomplish. This is gonna be a sponsored video from Mindworks Games, but you know, beautiful casting quality as always. Fun backpack, fun modern details.
We're gonna do some of that on stream or not?
Probably. It'll probably take me a while to paint the model because it's kind of a lot going on.
Mm-hmm.
Is the Pizza Boy resin? Yes, it is. It was weirdly shiny. Yeah, so they had like the chef and the nurse and the pilot, they had them out on the desk, and they were like done in like pink and like pastel colors, and they were really shiny. I'm not sure why they were shiny. Maybe because they're like the display models, people are touching them often. But
yeah, they did encourage, when I was over there, they were like, pick them up and handle them, so that might be it.
Yeah, and so, yeah, this one looks like normal resin. It's just kind of, you know, kind of
nerds are greasy.
Kind of satin, slightly matte gray. The Pizza Boy was also really affordable. That is awesome to hear. This stream is brought to you by Raising Cane's. Yes. I love that Pizza Boy mini. I have to remember every now and then just to stop and read chat and see how you guys are doing. Did I miss any questions, Evan?
Nothing big.
Okay. Pizza Boy was a hit. That's awesome.
Yeah, their booth seemed real busy for, display models and busts.
Oh my God, Scars. I know, right? Scars pizza is it's the best pizza. Of all the paint I picked up, for some reason I did not get any scale 75. I mean, I don't know if you're missing out on a ton. Other than that Necro Gold, you need Necro Gold.
I do.
We were giving Yafzika demos, and our ethos was touch the minis, they're meant to be played with. What'd you say, Evan?
I said, yeah, I do. When you said you need to buy Necro Gold.
Oh, yeah.
I realized I had a good chance there.
Didn't you get it?
No.
Oh, okay.
I should have.
Okay, now that someone's mentioned Yafzika in the chat, I don't have it with me. I don't know what I did with the book, but Evan has it pulled up on a site right now.
Yeah, let me make sure that the screen capture thing works right so we don't, share all of the, oh yeah, nothing's working. Cool.
Red Baron says, I was blown away with the Camelot series from Big Child. Yeah, we've painted up Guinevere on the channel at some point. And it was a video about following your muse. The next time that we have a get together, like a TendyCon or a VincyCon, we're all gonna paint one of the models from the Camelot line.
Boom.
So this book is a skirmish war game rule set, and it's called Yafzika. And oh my God, it is stunning. It is a stunning book, and the guy at Black Site Studios handed it to me, and he was like, this book is based on the worlds that you saw in 80s fantasy movies that were super colorful and think Excalibur. And when he said that, nothing mattered else in the world. I was like, I need that book.
Yeah.
He said he gave it to one of my friends, like Curtis or Dan, to give to me, and I was like, I need it now. I don't know anything about the game, but just the print material in the book, it has me so fucking excited to play this game. It looks so fucking cool. All the blood drained from Scott's brain as soon as he heard that. Yeah, as soon as he said the word Excalibur, I was like, it's game over, man.
It's what I said before the stream started. This book is proof that art matters.
Yeah.
You can have a great game design, but if it's just text, it's not going to capture your mind and imagination like this shit is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hopefully the game is good. Mindwork has a good, Black Site Studios has a good track record.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what. No. Yeah, he said Annihilation. That's what he said. Okay, yeah. So not an 80s fantasy movie, but I mentioned Color Out of Space and I mentioned Excalibur, and then he agreed with me. But man, I can't wait to play this game.
Yeah.
It looks so cool. But I don't know what the fucking book is. I brought it into my house and then I don't know where I put it. But very excited for that.
Honey, have you seen my Yafzika book?
Yeah. I do have to say it was weird seeing your legs. You were taller than I imagined. Yeah, I get that a lot. I have a lot of short energy.
Because you are sitting in all your videos.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people met Vince and they were like, holy shit, you're 6'4" and 320 pounds?
Yes.
And I was like, yes.
So, someone just mentioned Demon Ship. Evan, I don't know if that is also on Black Site's website. But
you mean Ghost Boat?
Ghost Boat. That movie is amazing, but we'll go to that. You can find that while I talk about this next one. Scott is 6'4". Yeah, no, I'm not. So the next thing here came from a viewer, and this is very special. So there were models that were made only for GW employees to be used around holiday times during their their parties to be given as gifts. And it was only in the English offices in the United Kingdom. And they were very, very different models. And so this one comes with a certificate of authenticity. It says it's a limited edition wood elf sculpted by Mark Bedford. December 2005 is when it is dated. And there are 2,000 of these figures available. I'm curious, what's the population of model kits and Gundams at Adepticon? Not many. There are miniature war games that feature Gundams and like mechs and stuff like that, but not like a normal, typical Gundam kit. I'm sure if you were searching around in some of the booths that were like just game stores, they might have had some kits.
I didn't really see much. I know the same hotel hosts the MMSI convention that like Don Haney goes to and stuff, and that's all model kits and historicals and stuff like that.
Red Baron, thanks for the sub, John. John's referencing some fucking deep cut YouTube videos right now. Oh God, did my camera just?
Yeah, panning camera just shit the bed, and it's back. Okay.
It's the Wi-Fi connection.
Oh yeah, it reconnected to your phone.
Yes, Zambies, I stole all of the goodies you gave us for myself. But this model is a war dancer that is 54 millimeters in scale and is pewter made. I didn't mean to hold on to that for a while, but this is crazy. This is a crazy fucking model. GW doesn't really make models in this scale. Obviously there's Inquisitor, but these are fantasy figures. 54 millimeter pewter war dancer wood elf, bro. I'm gonna paint the shit out of this in a video. It's gonna be amazing.
I said it at the time, and I stand by this, even though the quality isn't necessarily on point.
Yeah.
Should be a Golden Demon piece. That would be so cool.
That'd be really fucking cool. Yeah, the sculpting is a little sus. She's got a huge fucking forehead. Doesn't matter though. It's just such a cool piece of history right here.
It really is.
So if you're the viewer who is watching the stream right now, or you're watching the VOD after the fact, thank you so much. The only thing they asked for was just a Duchess in return. So absolutely happy to do that. Amazing model. Okay, what is next in my bag of tricks?
There's so much, Scott. It just doesn't stop.
I know, I bought too many things.
I only bought one thing.
You bought Drop Fleet Commander?
Nope. Curtis bought that.
Oh, okay. I know, what a trade indeed. What'd you buy?
Let's continue going through your things, and I'll see if I can pull it up online.
Okay.
Also, Demon Ship, I cannot find it on the internet. It doesn't exist.
Okay, so they were doing pre-orders at Adepticon, and I pre-ordered that. So let's talk about it a bit. Neffy is gonna help my Blood Knight so much. Yeah, definitely. Well, I mean, the Twilight Allure is very nice. So I pre-ordered Demon Ship at Adepticon. This was a game made by Malev Flow Shinobi, someone that we've rated before on Twitch, and published by Black Site Studios. And this game is meant to encapsulate the feeling of the third act in Aliens, the second movie in the franchise, when Ripley is trying to escape the ship and there's an alien inside. You never feel safe. And it comes in this 8x8 or 6x6 by 2 inch box. So it's like this big, right? And the whole game is inside there. The rules, the terrain, the board that the terrain goes on. So it's a micro game. And you roll some d6 to determine the layout of the room you're in. But the point is you need to make your way to the control, power plant of the ship, turn the power on, and then escape through whatever means necessary. And it was so fast, it was so quick, and it was so thoughtfully designed that I had to have it.
The presentation of that little book is awesome.
The book is amazing. The type in it is amazing. Again, a great example of how having a beautifully designed rule book can definitely sell stuff, and it was. You guys gotta check this game out.
It's called Demon Ship.
Yeah.
And it doesn't exist on the internet yet. It's not secret. They were, touting it around and handing it off to people and doing pre-orders and stuff, but the site isn't up yet. There's nothing.
Yeah.
It's just a couple of blurbs about it on some Instagram pages and stuff. I began writing this game in January called Demon Ship. It's very cool.
This is just a video showcasing all of Black Site Studios games. Yeah, definitely. Young Puffed and Cobenheister, thank you for the Prime subs. We appreciate it. No surprise, Malev's own products are high quality. He's a high quality individual. I shit you not. It was so fucking nice. I was so shocked. I didn't expect something to be that polished. He started making it in January. And it was incredible how polished it was.
He also recognized me at the con.
Nice.
I mean, when I say that, he approached Curtis and said, "Are you Evan?" So swing and a miss, but close enough.
You tried. Yeah,
an attempt was made.
Yeah. Eons of Battle says, is it Nemesis? No, it is. It couldn't be more different than Nemesis in terms of gameplay. Obviously, in terms of aesthetic, it's very similar. But the Nemesis is a big, complicated board game that, you play as an individual character and you have individual goals and also team goals. And you are doing something similar, but this game plays in 20 minutes, if not shorter. I pre-ordered the copy, and when we get it in, I think it's a solo game, so we'll do a little Twitch stream where maybe we play that game in the beginning, like just do a little preamble, like Ghost Boat, which is a loving name we gave it, or Demon Ship game, just to show you what it's about, because it was so cool. Suns are right, thanks to the Prime sub. Uncle Adam got a super fast rundown demo from Malev on the Every Other Sunday show. Didn't get into much detail, but pulled the board and book out of Demon Ship and showed it. It looked really cool. Yeah, he gave me a short demo as well, but that's honestly all it needed to like show me what was amazing about the game. But on to more things that I've bought. There isn't a link, unfortunately, in Tabletop Gaming, but I'm gonna make a video that's gonna talk about Demon Ship, and in that video I will absolutely link it. So I bought more Carnival stuff, despite having bought it last year and doing literally nothing with the vampires in that box. I found some more Crusader-looking dudes that I love this.
The Knights Hospitaller.
Apparently this guy is like dead and raised back to life because like his job isn't done yet. Let me crack this open just so we can get a feel for the model quality.
See, I'm mad that Scott bought this, because if he didn't buy it, I would have bought it.
We tried to get a demo of this game in, but we weren't unable to.
Yeah, we missed the right day for it, unfortunately. But I'm excited to try it.
Yeah, me too. One of my other friends who was there, Joshy, Sexy Teeth Joshy, also bought models for this faction. And
I am going to pull up the model that he bought, because it's like one of my favorite minis I've ever seen in my life.
It's brutal. You've picked up more Adepticon that I've painted in my entire life. I'm not saying I'm going to paint all these figs, but, it's a guilty pleasure to buy models for yourself.
Why would I feel guilty about it? I got money. They got things I want.
Exactly. So here's that big Executioner guy. It looks a little glossy. Not too concerned about that. You can always clean it off, but very nice casting quality. We're getting little white specks on the screen. Interesting. Yeah, like these are super nice castings. You can see the whole eye, not covered in detail and like little ridges and dots and rivets and belts and stuff. There is some, but the arm muscles are a little sus. I don't know what's going on. My son, who was 12, talked me into going to Adepticon. We had a great time, and he's excited for next year. He's excited to see you there, but far too nervous to say hello. Maybe next time we'll make that happen. Yeah, please do. I talked to so many younger kids, and it was great. Seeing the young bloods enter Golden Demon was absolutely amazing. You should have painted Ross's face. You should have painted Ross's face I gave you. He ended up giving away a set of artist opus brushes. I have a head in here. I'm not actually allowed to show it. I don't think I ever got Ross's face, but I was aware of that. Wasn't he technically undead? More sinewed muscles? Yeah, I don't really know what he is, if I'm being totally honest. He doesn't look undead at all, but what the back says about him is that a paladin of St. Lazarus has been brought back from the dead countless times, but like the guy doesn't look like he's supposed to be dead. Looks a little bloody though. How was your Shatterpoint demo? It was great. The game was great. Probably one of the if we played, I think maybe like 7 or 8 games, and I think Shatterpoint and Demon Ship were my favorite games. Here's the leader of the unit. Again, this is a really nicely casted model. Like this is really pretty. I have no idea how this game plays though, but the models are very cool. But then my friend Josh got another model from this faction, and Evan is going to show us now-ish.
If the thing works, face plus web. There we go. Love this model so much.
This model is just all sorts of fucked. I actually don't like it. Like, I like it less now that I see the full thing. It kind of looks like a trash can, man.
Fine with it.
Like, those legs are a bit too the same width the entire way down. But there's a fucking child holding a giant ballista for this knight to shoot. Like, isn't that insane, dude? Yeah, worst squire job. Yeah, that just, don't want to be that person. But yeah, that is brutal.
I originally thought when we were looking at it on, like in the box, it looks like a little cowering child. That's just like, oh, that's cool. They give you like a little cowering peasant, but no. Bipod. What is my purpose? You hold up my ballista. Oh my god. Fucking awesome.
Was Shatterpoint just Star Wars MCP, or is it pretty different? I don't remember a ton of details from MCP that made it unique. I know there are some, but I can't remember them. But I was struck in our Shatterpoint demo with a ton of like new ideas for games that I really, and some of them are small, some of them are bigger ones, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a very well designed game, but it doesn't make sense how they're just why they decided to make the models in a different scale and not align with any of their other Star Wars IPs they have, like Armada, like Legion, like what's the other one that I'm not remembering right now? X-Wing. Like I don't get why they just aren't doing anything with those IPs and trying to align with those ones. The bigger scale is really dumb. I don't understand what the deal was. The Shatterpoint demo was cool because your units didn't die immediately, but instead became incapacitated for the round and have multiple times that can happen before they're removed. Yeah, so that was one thing that was cool, is that they weren't super killy, and so things were able to survive for longer. And then also when something was killed, if you came to it, you would have one activation remaining before it died. And so I appreciate little details like that. Yeah, the skill difference isn't different enough to justify the change IMO. Yeah, I totally agree with you. But still talking about Carnival, I also picked up this blister that has this cool executioner guy in it, and also these two kind of like men of the Lord. They just nice little characterful designs. Again, I'm not saying I'm ever gonna paint or play this game, but if I do, these are the ones that I would want. They're fucking cool.
This is that pack right here.
Yeah, look at that. Those are just nice figs. They're just nice figs. I want X-Wing scale minis, 5mm tall Sky Potter for the win. Absolutely. I hope Shatterpoint doesn't do. I'm not sure what you're saying, Red Baron. Did I try out Judgment? No, but I have got a demo of it from Pete. We did a little virtual demo, and I totally agree with what you're saying about Dota. So while there are no lanes and stuff like that, there is a large building for you to destroy, like an ancient in Dota. And also when you die, you go to like a well area and you heal up and you can buy equipment there before spawning back into the arena. So it's very MOBA-like while still being kind of like an arena game. And it was compelling. I was excited for it. And we actually have a copy of Judgment under the gaming desk right over there. And then we're excited to play. I wasn't a huge fan of a ton of the characters, like the sculpts for the characters, but the game seemed cool. I like the bigger scale just because it's a bit easier to paint. And honestly, those lightsabers are scary thin, even at the bigger scale. Yeah. It's probably because they started working on it before Asmodee reassigned all of the Star Wars games to them from FFG. Yeah, and then fired the entire FFG staff. Yeah, maybe you're right. Any Legion players out there, are you guys getting like support updates for that game? Just out of curiosity, like is anything with that game changing? Getting new figs and new rules and stuff?
I remember they released the Scum and Villainy pack in the middle of last year.
Okay.
And that was the last big thing I remember for that.
New figs.
Previewed Ewoks.
New figs,
oh
new
my
rules.
god.
Excellent. Just got a bunch of stuff from Mandalorian. Good.
Okay.
I'm glad. when I heard that they basically took the team that was designing AMG, the team that was designing MCP, and was like, you are now also supporting Legion, Armada, and X-Wing. Good luck. I got a little worried. What up, Retro Evil Inc? Okay, is this the last thing? Aside from a bunch of business cards? Yeah, it is.
Let's just show off a bunch of business cards.
Yeah, and stickers and stuff. It is somewhat supported. They're trying to make a kill team version of the game. Are you referring to Shatterpoint? Count Draculord. Star Wars Shatterpoint got a ton of stuff compared to Legion. Yeah, I mean, it's a new game, so kind of expected for it to get a lot of stuff, right? Just heard you picked up some Carnival minis. I'd absolutely love to see your take on painting them. Yeah, I mean, they're amazing figs, and I would also love to paint some. Did you enjoy Conquest? Not a lot, but I did not enjoy it. I shouldn't say that. I think demoing a game is an art, and that the demoer needs to know how to show the things that make the game special in a short amount of time. And when we demoed Conquest, we just ran at each other and hit each other, and it was like any other game that you might play. You know, there was like a weird quirk in that you're looking to roll to a value or lower than, as opposed to a value and higher than. But that doesn't make a game special, right? That just makes you have to think about things differently. Like a 2 down is a 5 up essentially. So that wasn't special, but we need to look into that game more and really figure out what makes it interesting. Did not demo War Machine, but would love to have demoed that. Here's what we demoed. Shatterpoint, Free Blades, Zeogenesis, Bushido, the other side, the large-scale miniature war game from Weird. Was there something else?
The one that you were talking to, Dominion Protocol or whatever it was.
Oh, Omicron Protocol?
That's it?
We didn't really play that game, though.
Hey, yeah, well, okay.
I think that's it. Maybe it was just 5. And then I played a pickup game of Guild Ball and Song. Yeah, just 5 games, I think. But it was good. It was more games than we ever... Oh, and Conquest, 6th game. Cool. All right. And then I made a little pit stop at the Toledo Game Store Bits room and bought a bunch of things that I should never have bought. Painting less this year, but still painting. That's good. I think between the two of us, we bought almost every game. We bought almost every game at Adepticon with no overlap. Nice. That's cool. Yeah, I'm sorry we didn't get a chance to play Kill Team, Jay. I did bring my book and my models. Toward the end of the week, it kind of gets a little hairy in terms of what time there's remaining. These are some old school wood elves, and I don't know why. I just fucking love them. These are Glade Riders, actually.
I think the term you're looking for is nostalgia.
No, I love them.
Nostalgia.
I have never seen these models before.
Yeah, but it's old school wood elves. It's a layup for you.
Yeah, but like I hate the war dancers from this range.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, so like you were right. I am into vintage stuff and like lately, and these guys passed some visual test for me. I don't know really what it is. I love the low peak on the helmets over the nose, and the simplicity of the designs. They could be a little bit chunkier, but that's okay. But like models like these for a game like Frostgrave or something like that, I would love to have these models. I fell in love with Relic Blade. Yeah, we played Relic Blade at a previous convention, and also that game was really good. But a lot of my friends bought Relic Blade stuff. John, Josh, Dan, and Britt, Curtis all bought Relic Blade stuff. Old GW Widows are top tier. These ones especially are top tier. And then I also bought this Necromancer, a Necromancer. Vampire.
A Necromancer.
Like the wizard casting vampire on a mount. Not with a mount though, but he can go on like a horse or something. But really cool model. Again, not too complicated. Fun face. Kind of spindly vampire. And then I got some of these old school Graveguard models, which I've owned these models before, but I sold them all when I sold my vampire army. but like they make for some cool fucking I don't know, characters or something. But I love that flat fucking helmet. It just looks so cool. I love it. What is fucking Jay saying? No worries, I consider it a forfeit, so eons of battle victory. Bastard. Hey, Miniac, did Ninja get a finalist pin for his GD? He got a finalist pin and a commanded entry for his diorama. Did him getting one motivate you to try to re-enter next year? I mean, I got a finalist pin last year when I entered, so not necessarily, but I've taken my break from competitive, or I should say Golden Demon, really, and I'm ready to come back in next year. So I'll be paying an entry for Golden Demon next year. Mark my words. I think that's it.
I'm marking it right now. Clip that.
Go ahead. Oh wait, I got a mystery model from Frosthaven.
Mystery model?
Yeah, so while I was at the Frosthaven booth, they gave me a mystery box. I gotta say, Frosthaven was by far the worst game demo that we had, and it wasn't because the game was bad. I'm not even sure if the game is bad or not. The demo was just so terrible. I sat down and the guy was like, all right, roll for initiative. And I was like, okay, what dice do I use? And so I used the dice, and he's like, all right, pick 2 cards. And I was like, what fucking cards do I use? And then I proceeded to pick up my hand of cards that had a bunch of fucking bullshit all over them. I'm like, what do I pick? Instantaneously, I was like, I'm out. Like I'll watch the people play the demo, but I'm not gonna play. Like they didn't describe fucking anything. And so I just kind of was like, I'll just watch. Game looks totally fine, but the demo was just like, that was not my speed. So here's a fig from Frosthaven, and it looks pretty cool. You know, for a board game, very nice. Like I would say especially nice, but it is a larger figure, so it's gonna look nicer. But I did peep some of the other models, and they all look pretty good. Yeah. Really good con. Bought more things than I should have, for sure. And that is it for what I can show. Mark my words, there it is. There's the clip. Ninja's diorama. I got a finalist pin last year. I feel like they were a lot pickier this year. I agree with you. They definitely gave out less. Ninja's diorama was very good. I hadn't seen much of his work, but up close, it made me want to play Soul by Grave Lords on the tabletop. It reminded me of the Robin McLeod AOS unit. I mean, I think John would be very happy to hear that, because that unit was very, very beautiful. Did you buy any Conquest? No, we did not. We did demo it though. What was that? Look, why are you doing that, Evan? I had a work meeting. What was your favorite model you picked up? Ooh, what a fun question. Ooh, I'm gonna say Pizza Boy. Pizza Boy is my favorite model I picked up.
He stole that guy's pizza.
Jaws of the Lion is good. Yeah, again, I'm not saying anything about the game itself. I've played Gloomhaven once a long time ago, and it seemed totally fine when I was playing it. But the demo was just a bad demo. I don't know if the guy was just tired and didn't want to like kind of run me through everything, but he was clearly short on time. Or short on energy. Or just doesn't know how to give a good demo. Any one of those things. But I don't hold any of it against the actual game. Where did the other vampire guy go? Who knows? Okay. Evan, you got something to say, right?
Yeah, I bought one thing.
Yeah.
I done with some of the same stuff. We did Zeogenesis together. I was with you for Bushido and the other side, and I was being real judicious with my money, thanks to the fact that my car repair was quite expensive. So I was very picky. Last day, I picked up a game called Breachstorm. It's got an interesting alternating activation system where it kind of has tag-along activations from officers in the game. The designers kind of walked me through it, and I was like, this is pretty neat. And it's just, one of those indie devs that made the trip. They came all the way from Boston. And I was like, yeah, let's check it out. So I picked up that. That was my one thing. I got the starter for that. And I got the third faction because it's Big Bugs. And since Curtis bought the spaceship game that we decided to go in together on, I figured I'd buy him the Bug faction for this one. And hopefully we like it.
Nice.
We'll find out in time. Maybe you'll see it on stream eventually.
Someone asked what my favorite demo was, and it was Demon Ship or it was Shatterpoint. It's one of the two.
Yeah, for me it was Zeogenesis, as we were talking about beforehand.
Yeah. So we played Zeogenesis, was a game that was partly developed by a name you're gonna recognize, Andy Chambers. But it was also developed by other people. And Evan, you should tell them why that game was special.
It's kind of hard to summarize it, but it has a very interesting activation mechanic where, in addition to being alternating activation, you're kind of on your own game round. So if you have a force with, let's just say for point of example, you have 2 activations on your team and your opponent has 5 or 6.
Yeah.
You take an activation, your opponent takes an activation. You take an activation, you're out of activations, your opponent takes an activation. And something like Song or whatever, you just sit there twiddling your thumbs while your opponent plays out the rest of their activations. Maybe there's a mechanic like in Kill Team where because you're outnumbered, you get Overwatch shots or similar things. This game handles it differently. Your next turn when all your things are activated, you clear your activations. So now you have a different cycle from your opponent, right? You've taken your 3rd turn, and now on your 4th turn, all your stuff is unactivated again. It's very interesting. And then when you add on the fact that there are things in the game that allow you to activate multiple things at once, so you can move that point where all your stuff is activated out. All reactions in the game use your activation. So it's a balancing act of like, do I use a bunch of activations to avoid this on a defensive thing? But then, all my infantry, they only have 1 activation. So now they're vulnerable to my opponent who's unactivated. It's a very big mind game. Love it. Love it.
Yeah. It was really cool. I'd never seen a game that did something like that before. The real question here is, have you watched Running Man yet? No, I haven't watched Running Man yet. The demo for Infinity was rough too. It seemed like they needed to alternate presenters rather than having... it went away. Yeah, and that could be it too. People just getting tired of saying the same things over and over again. So just got back from the store and they have a Song of Ice and Fire Stark Lannister starter set for $67.
Yeah, that's what they cost.
Are those the new models?
No, that's Stark versus Lannister is the OG box. But
okay.
Yeah, like the MSRP on that box, I think it's like $80 and it's often marked down to like 60, 65.
Code 1 is a beer and pretzels game. Oh, sorry, Evan.
I was just saying, yeah, that 2-player box is probably the best deal in miniature wargaming. It's ridiculous. I copy and pasted, by the way, the question from before.
Yeah.
The Infinity demo was rough too. It seemed like they needed to alternate presenters instead of having one guy run demos over and over again forever.
Yes, I agree. That's definitely important. First time at Adepticon, met you, John, and Vince on the couch. Nice. That's when we were ordering Chinese food. Thanks for being so nice, and thanks for taking our photo. Absolutely.
Chinese food was so good, even though it wasn't that good.
Yeah,
it
hit the spot.
It just was the right thing.
Okay. Time to paint Neferata. And I started to paint this lovely lady when I tried to paint an entire Age of Sigmar army at one time. And never ended up finishing her. So let's finish her, shall we? We got some skin to work on. Some more detailed volumes to add.
Hey, Malev in the chat. Big love, Scott. Fun to meet up once again. Subscribing.
Abso-fucking-lutely, Malev. Cannot wait to try out Demon Ship, bro. We all, me and Curtis, both pre-ordered it at Adepticon. Very excited.
If I knew that was an option, I would have pre-ordered that too. But whatever.
The hotel food was so good. It was pretty good. Yeah, it was shockingly good for sure.
Yeah, Ghost Boat looks good. The restaurant, good food, not great service.
Yeah, they were slow.
They only had like 2 waiters/waitresses on staff at like any given point in time for a convention, which is pretty rough.
Good Chinese food at Adepticon. Use Mandarin. Okay. Neferata, more like Nefermama. Hell fucking yeah, brother. Sire me, please, mommy. All right. just got to kind of look at this model for a sec and just reacquaint myself with whatever is going on here.
And while you're doing that, I will tell people that we're only about 13 subs away from our next giveaway, which is a 1985 big games, like their mystery boxes that you can sign up for monthly. Got one of them. It's a Big Trouble in Mini Crate.
Yes, a lot of fun things in this box. But maybe we should keep it a secret. That's kind of the point, right?
That's kind of the point. It's pretty cool. I've peeked inside. I know what's in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're giving that away in 13 more subs. Can we see what's in there? If you win, that's how it works.
Yes. We'll do a little peek.
Oh! Spoilers. I'm cutting away.
It's got zealot miniatures and counterspell miniatures stuff inside of it. But yeah, some cool models. What's in the box? I can't believe Dakota didn't let us add a table for Scott. What? Who is Dakota?
Don't worry about it. Now we're into the deep lore of the con.
Did you guys know that Blizzard originally tried to make the Warhammer video game? Yeah, Warhammer employed Blizzard to make a video game based on their IP. And then at some point during development, they split ways. And now we have Warcraft and Starcraft, which looks in some ways similar to Warhammer in 40K. There are some things that are very similar, like Zerg and Tyranids, and I don't know who the spacemen people are in Starcraft.
Just the Marines. I mean, they're the Terrans, but they literally are called Marines. Oh. And they're in space.
You have any ideas what you want to paint, Scott? Yeah, I'm going to just paint the Drazar model that I have like 60% done. Because this is like 60% done. But I have a fun idea for the diorama. Different than any idea. I want to make it a duel. And I've thought about it even more. I want to, because Drazar is like standing on this thing, which maybe I have the model. Maybe. Let me find the model.
He's escaping, chat.
I'm running away.
You can't let him get away.
This is Evan's stream now. What up, slut?
I'm gonna do you guys a favor.
Giant sloth
I found
candies.
the worst picture I could find.
Jesus Christ. Alex is editing the live podcast right now.
All about that DVD bouncy thing.
So, Evan, can you post the hot tub pic? At the corner. That guy who was talking a lot about Black Site Studio mentioned something else about Yafzika. What did he say?
I saw that, and then it leaked out of my brain. Hang on.
I care deeply about Yafzika, even though I've never.
I have only seen it briefly, but it is my favorite. Last bit of Yafzika stuff. A big thing for us while playtesting was that a single unit box from Song of Ice and Fire was a complete warband and more, down to miniature distribution and force composition. Sold. I'm sold. Just send me it.
Yes, we have it. And
no, but send me more.
Is the guy in chat with the guy who was speaking to me in the booth? Because he seems to be saying the exact same thing that guy was saying.
Maybe. I don't know. This is Kasuds.
Yeah, it's okay, cool. All right, cool. Yeah. He mentioned that to me, and I was like, that's fucking perfect, because I have basically a warband size models painted for, Song of Ice and Fire.
And I have like every Song of Ice and Fire box ever made. Kill me.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not quite there, but I'm like 80% of the way there, and that's really bad.
Oh, that's okay. So the developer for Yafzika is Kosuds. He is in the chat. Kind of biased. Yeah, that's okay.
Game's okay. 6 out of 10.
Strut your stuff, my man. Where you play games? We're trying to find a spot in Denver to host a class. What? Where do I play games? I play games at the Source mostly. Nox Geek, thanks for the sub. Any plans for traveling paint classes in Denver? None at the moment. You should paint an older version of Drazar. It's a cooler mini. I don't know. This one's pretty fucking cool. Okay, so here's Drazar, and this is the pose that he's currently in, and also the current paint job. It's pretty nice, pretty clean. I want to have him. I want to cut off all of this terrain bullshit. There's kind of a shit blend on his chest there. Can't really see it in the camera, but it's there. I'm gonna have to fix that. I want to cut off his terrain stuff and have him winched in between 2 vertical walls, and maybe it can be like a cylinder behind him. It's like a big curve, like he's kind of scaling a wall in like a super acrobatic way. And then I want to have another incubi like kind of below him in the tunnel, chasing him up that same like vertical structure. Imagine like a giant smokestack, like they're rushing up a giant smokestack. And the model on top, the main one, is winning the duel at the moment, and I want him to be like slicing the neck of the guy who's running up the pipe. So this is like the moment the guy gets his neck sliced, and so he's like still midair, like his momentum is still going up toward Drazar, it's not going to be Drazar, it's going to be just a generic incubi. And then some blood splatter on the wall, stuff like that. And then below, down the pit, a little bit further down, I want there to be like kind of some kind of like pool, and I want there to be like animals that are like trying to like rush up to like get the dying corpse that's falling down the pipe, because I can't think of anything more Dark Eldar than 2 incubi dueling for supremacy in an entirely like ridiculous area where like the winner takes all. Someone dies, their corpse gets eaten. That sounds so fucking Dark Eldar to me. So, and like it's acrobatic and it's all on the line. So yeah, I want to do that. I've always been I love like the Dark Eldar lore because it's so ruthless. Does the model have a helmet or is it a face? At this point, I haven't painted the head. It comes with a helmet, but I could absolutely use any face I wanted to. Maybe I'll use a normal face just to make it very clear this is not Drazar, because Drazar has never been seen before. But yeah, nice paint job so far, and that's the plan I have for my dual entry that is not done yet. He's racing up a cylindrical column and he's fighting some dude off. Real talk here, people. Let's say you order an expensive grilled cheese and brisket sandwich. How long do you let it sit in front of you before taking a bite?
It's a good question for Mike Genie, I think.
You just eat it immediately.
I don't think that would be Mike Genie's answer.
I think that Rufus is not giving us the full context here just to make Mike Genie look silly. Will you paint the incubi while listening to Duel of the Fates? Probably not. I don't know that song. Okay. Neferata. Let's do her. Man, where do we start with this model? I have no clue. A lot of airbrushed stuff so far. Maybe we like try to finish up the red armor.
Rufus is correct. I was there for it and I saw it.
Okay. We need a handle and some poster tack. Any recommendations for red paint? Most people recommend the Chimera red, but I can't find it for sale anywhere. That's sad, because that's what I was going to recommend. I don't know. I've never really explored outside of the Chimera red. I mean, a lot of reds are really good, Grabbing my poster tack.
Pearl Krill Bold Pearl Red is pretty good. I'm sure AK has a good, really red. Someone
mentioned that the red from I'm sure the brand you just said.
Pearl Krill?
Pearl Krill is pretty good.
Yeah. I'm sure So Flat's Very Red Red is also good.
Yeah, that is also
So Flat is just good paint.
You could pick any video game character or monster that you'd like to translate to miniature form. What would you pick? Video game character.
That actually reminds me of something that I thought was really cool about Adepticon.
What's that?
There were a lot of dead games there actually being played, and in good numbers.
Yeah.
And I don't just mean Guild Ball.
I didn't see anyone else playing Guild Ball.
Yeah, that's fair.
Unfortunately.
Truly a dead game. I learned, for instance, that there was a Halo miniatures war game. Actually, 2 of them. They had like a ground one and a space one. And they had a tournament there in one of those smaller ballrooms up by the upstairs open play area. And I walked by it, and there was a sizable amount of people playing. And I was like, this is cool. And it was like discontinued in like 2008 or something. So it is a dead game, but pretty cool. And there's other stuff, like you mentioned, Warhammer Fantasy was being played.
6th edition.
6th edition.
Mordheim being played.
Yeah, all kinds of cool old stuff. And that's like one of the fun things about going to a convention is like not just seeing the new things, but seeing the people who are passionate about the hobby keeping the old things alive. The old ways. Man, you are struggling with that right now.
I just don't know the best way to hold it.
Yeah,
obviously, it attaches fine to the plinth, but like, do I want to fucking paint it like this? Not really.
Yeah.
I don't know the best way to hold the model and paint it.
I don't know what to do with my hands.
Maybe like this. Maybe that's the play. I just can't get to the rest of the... This is the part where she's sitting, so it's not like I have to be able to access that for the majority of the paint job. Yeah, maybe we'll just do it like this. Dead games live longer. Pin it, maybe? Yeah, I have a hole in her butt for when she's supposed to eventually go on her... What are the name of the mounts that the Mortarks ride? Anyways, I do have a pin for that, but I think that would have her upright, just the way I had it with the poster tack, and it would still be kind of awkward. But this feels okay. It might not work out for the face. Okay, so the red I have painted, like airbrush painted. So like you can see toward the bottom of her helmet, it's dark. Toward the bright, it's top. Sorry, toward the top, it's bright. But it needs some definition. It needs recessed shading. It needs edge highlighting. This is a character, so I want to make it look special. So let's do that. Let's make it look special. All right. So we're gonna do some dark brown or some black, some nice pink peachy highlights. Call it a day. TMM or NMM. All the metals are gonna be TMM, just because it's it's an army figure and I want to make it go faster. What kind of tack do you use for that? Museum, so it's like
Museum putty.
Museum putty.
Not museum wax. I made that mistake.
Wax is terrible.
I have a big tub of museum wax.
Yeah, it's useless. Well,
pretty much.
For this, it's not very helpful. But yeah, museum putty. The upcoming Patchers sculpt for Infinity is just straight up a StarCraft Space Marine. Nice.
I'm trying to find it right now because I want to see how true this is. And I'm just finding pictures of actual Space Marines.
I'm gonna moisten up my Moisture 5000 here. AK my left hand.
YGM monologuing, resubscribing. Awesome to see you at Adepticon. Sorry I couldn't sit for the P&P this year. I'll wrangle you in again next year.
Hey! Yeah! Sorry, I'm filling my palate with water right now. There were a lot of people that I regretted not being able to talk to for a period of time, or like engage with their thing that they had going on at the con. And I feel a little guilty about that. I felt for the first time ever at Adepticon, like it was literally impossible for me to make, everyone feel like happy and special, like I was available to them. I would start walking in one direction and 3 hours later end up somewhere else. It was hard. It was hard to manage my time. I had some scheduled things like interviews and stuff. I interviewed 2 game devs and the founders of Adepticon as well. I did 3 different interviews. A lot of cool things. Had the top live stuff, and that took a while as well. But yeah, I did feel a little bad that I wasn't able to make it out that way. So I'm sorry. Sorry about that. Anyone play the Infinity event at Adepticon? I did not. Could you recommend a first 3D printer to check out? I don't know if I can recommend one. The one I use is the Frozen 8K printer, but like that was given to me. So, and it works very well. But like if I were a consumer and I was looking for a 3D printer, I think I'm the wrong guy to ask. Like if you want a brush recommendation, I'm the guy to ask. But if a printer recommendation, maybe a printer focused channel would give you a better answer. Okay, let's get some colors. Let's use some AK colors for this. Okay, I got a nice color called Deep Red. Doesn't look deep at all. Looks very bright, actually.
Oh, do we have a paint rack camera? No, we don't. Okay, cool.
Cool.
Someday we'll put the battery thing back in there.
Someday. Today is not that day. That's a fine color. Maybe a little bit of that, and that should be good. Cool. Yeah, Evan likes once in a 6 side. I like the guys over at the name that I can never remember, Atlas 3D.
Atlas Design Group, I think.
Atlas Design Group.
Something like that.
They have a Discord. Whenever I have a question about 3D printing, I go to those guys, and they always set me straight.
And then somehow Scott has trouble again in the future.
I mean, I don't.
Actually, most of Scott's trouble is self-inflicted.
It is.
He accidentally deletes the wrong file and stuff.
Well, there's that, but also, like, I had to print these figs for an ad, and I have a resin profile for my Aqua 8K resin that is rock solid and it never really fails me. But I always want to try to like just squeeze every ounce of juice I can out of that thing, and so I'm just like constantly redlining it with like weird resins and like really low exposure times, and it results in a lot of failures, and I don't know what I'm doing, and so it's that makes it even worse. So if I just do my reliable shit, then it works fine. We need some paper.
Man, these patchers, they weren't kidding. This is the StarCraft Space Marine. Oh, hey, look at that. It's showing the wrong tab. I love that. Give me 1 second.
Oh, someone asked me what character I want to see as a miniature. Oh wow, yeah. Look at that.
Strongly inspired by.
Right. I wouldn't mind seeing Zagreus from Hades 2.
Hey. Or Hades 1 even.
Yes, Hades 1.
You know, honestly, that would be, I wouldn't choose a character from that game. I would just choose that game.
Yes.
Something that I would love to see, some sort of tabletop skirmish game based off of the design and art style of their interpretation of Greek mythology.
Yeah.
It would be very, very cool to have that whole cast of characters available in mini form for some sort of, arena brawler or PvE game or something. I don't know how you would capture the spirit of something like that, but there are a lot of really smart miniatures games designers out there. Someone could do it.
Yeah.
And then you could play the music from the game while you're playing and try and paint them in that really heavy inked style. Do the whole thing.
Yes. I don't know of a Diablo miniature war game. I'm using Redgrass Games paper today.
Whoa.
So this should eventually curl back down, right?
Yeah.
That's how it's supposed to work.
You know, if you time lapse it.
Yeah, I mean, hey, look, it stayed.
There you go.
Good.
I will say that Shovel Knight board game, war game, whatever it is, looked very popular. And I know a few people that bought it. I didn't get a chance to demo it because I was busy doing other stuff. But that booth was popping off.
Nice. Yeah, I didn't play that one either.
Boastful Baron, thanks for the sub.
The guy who wrote Yafzika might be writing the rule set for the Hades miniature war game. That was the implication that I got.
Pretty much Psy, okay, opens Word doc.
Right.
It's that same vibe as Psy unzips online.
Sure, yeah. Is there such a thing as too much water in a wet palette? Yeah, I would say if the water is coming up over the paper and you're getting on top of the paper, you have too much water. But otherwise, no. Boastful Baron, thanks for the sub. I know. Evan already got you. Okay. All right, I gotta take my fucking sweater off.
Woo!
Woo!
It's getting hot in here.
It truly is.
Always.
Okay. Yeah, I got some pastel yellow, some deep red, and some tenebrous gray, which looks very black. I don't think I actually have a black from AK. Not safe for work stream. That's why I turned around so you couldn't see my titties.
It's funny. I didn't announce it, but it's a nut time.
Hey. Why is that funny?
Because Kosuds and I are having an understanding right now.
Okay. Star Wars X-Wing, Babylon 5, Star Fury, or Battlestar Galactica Colonial Viper. Which is your favorite? These are all spaceships, I'm assuming. And while I do know the IPs of Battlestar Galactica, and I have enjoyed the movie of... oh, wait, never mind. You didn't mention Stargate. The only ship I actually know is the X-Wing, so I'll say the X-Wing. All right, let's get some of this.
I'm all about that Star Fury, personally.
Star Fury, all right.
Because it's like an X-Wing, but sawed off. Here, I'll show you a picture in a second. But, sure, it's fan art. Why not? Cool. It's close enough.
Okay.
This is what the Star Fury looks like, roughly.
Oh, yeah. There you go. That's cool. How do you like AK paints? They're very consistent. They're very consistently good, I should say. They're not particularly different than other ranges in huge ways, but they're very usable in a very good range. My tiny brush is a little fucked. Evan, did you fuck my brushes?
Nope.
Okay. I also need water. Just take 30 minutes to get started painting.
What are you talking about, Scott? We've been streaming for like an hour and a half.
I know, right? Don't remind me how slow I am.
Nah. It's the post-Adepticon party stream.
Yes.
We're hanging out. We're having a good time. We're eating some nuts.
If you have any questions about Adepticon, just like generic ones, now is the time to ask.
I agree with Param Underhill. Lots of great wing commander ships, but
yeah, this brush is not usable, at least at the moment. Let's see what else do we got in here. What other tiny brushes do we got? Yeah, that one looks pretty tiny. Did you like the Jaffa cakes? I'm not sure I know what Jaffa cakes are. Are there any West Coast events besides LVO? Kubla Khan, Dragon Con, where are those ones? One of those is in the West Coast. Can you read me Wired Current's question, please?
Yeah, as soon as I get these nuts out of my mouth.
Okay. Fucking A.
Scott, I saw your final Marine video, and I have to say I'm really impressed by your willingness to continue to work with GW products as a whole, given your history with them. A lesser person would reasonably be far more soured to their overall product line.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you saying that. I definitely had a lot of feelings of resentment after that event, but you know, there's a lot of people that work at Games Workshop that I'm friends with in a big way. Let me get that focus right. We're gonna lose camera for a bit. Right, and I don't want to resent the company just because the people who run it are terrible, but I can't lie. The relationship is soured a little bit, but honestly, it's a really positive thing because, like, I mean, I was already doing this before that situation happened, but exploring all these lovely smaller games has really been an enriching experience for me. And I was speaking with the developer for Relic Blade at this show. His name is Sean Sutter. I did a little interview with him, and he made this wonderful analogy that I would love to see be a reality in the future. And that was basically that, you know, the indie game community for video games is very rich and vibrant. And some of the greatest games in the video game community come from the indie games, Hades being one of them. So why can't games like indie game developers for the miniature wargaming community also be that same way? And I totally agreed. I thought, like, yeah, there's an opportunity here to, like, really put indie games at the forefront and celebrate them for what they are. And so, I don't know, like, the whole relationship with GW has definitely inspired me to look more into other companies that make games and models for our hobby. So while I do still show GW products on my channel, I guess what I'm trying to say is that my behavior isn't totally the same as it was prior. Because there's no stream equivalent in the mini industry. We're literally on it right now, though. What do you mean? I don't think that's the reason why. He also made another analogy that I thought is apt right now, and that is that the console should be your model range that you like.
Steam equivalent, by the way, not stream.
Oh, my bad. My apologies. There's really that's why you okay. Interesting. I guess there are, like, the place that Vince sells his game on that website, that could be like Steam, but, like, it's nowhere near as big.
What is it? Drive-Thru RPG and their affiliated companies.
Yes.
I can't remember the name of their, so they're also the company that runs Dungeon Master Guild, which is the tied into D&D thing where you can use more of their IP with a little bit of a different arrangement. And then what is the other piece of it? Drive-Thru something.
So the assumption here then is that Steam is the reason or a large contributor, but there are indie games for consoles as well, and there is no Steam for consoles.
Yeah, Wargame Vault is what it is. I mean, that's kind of true, and that's been one of the big hang-ups of console development for a long time. Part of the reason that Xbox, back in the 360 era, and this persisted for quite some time, launched Xbox Live Arcade was because they wanted to make it more approachable for indie game devs. But they do all sorts of, console specific stuff where you have to submit your patches early and validate your games more often and things like that, theoretically. Yeah, I don't know.
Steam provides a lot of visibility, and consoles have the equivalent store to boost indie sales. So, okay, let me back up a little bit. The question that I asked was largely rhetorical. The question I should have asked is, why not? Like, we live in 2023. This thing could exist if we wanted it to exist. And I want it to exist. And so I think, I don't know how long my interest in this is gonna last. I hope it lasts forever. But I am gonna try my best to put a lot of indie games in the limelight, or just smaller games like A Song of Ice and Fire. I wouldn't call it an indie game, but it's a smaller game. But also games like Demon Ship and games like Yafzika and games like Bushido, games like Zeogenesis. Those are really small games with really small teams that operate them. And so I would love to show those to you guys and try to break down the barrier there exists, because at the moment, 95% of gamers are playing one title, or two titles. And there are so many legitimately fun games that just don't get a lot of attention. So hopefully you and I together and other people that get involved will be able to do that. Scott will be our Steve, yeah, sure. But yeah, there's probably a lot of good reasons why it's not as similar as video games, but we can try to solve those problems. It's a perfect plan. Yafzika. What is this Yafzika game? It's Yafsiga. Yafzika. It's also an expensive endeavor to play several. Okay, so yes, fair point, absolutely fair point. And there was another analogy that I wanted to make that I stopped making mid-sentence. And that was that one thing that Sean also mentioned was that I want your chosen model range to be the console and the rule set to be the cartridge you put into it. So like you just play whatever fucking rules you want with whatever models you want. And that makes it truly affordable. If you have the money to buy models for model ranges that the games support, then do that. But if you don't have the time or you don't have the money at the moment, you could use something else you have. Now, if your opponent prefers you use models from the range that you're playing the game for, that's totally fine. That's just a preference that you state beforehand. But like in reality, you can play 40K with whatever fucking models you want, and it's okay,
Yeah, the only thing that's important to the rules for a lot of these games is just running the proper base size.
Right, that's true, yeah. There are some things that might not work out very nicely, but really, the only barrier to entry here is the barriers that we put up, truly. And so I think the word model agnostic is really kind of is kind of confusing us. Like we only will swap in models in a game that's labeled model agnostic, but that's not the case. You can play any game you want with any models you want, so long as you and your opponent are okay with it.
Yep.
Another game I played that I just remember right now is Hobgoblin. So 7 demoed games. While I want to support your ideology, I must confess it's hard for me as a husband, father, student, employee. I really struggle to find time or energy for games I'm already invested in, let alone games like you're mentioning now. That's totally fine, I'm not. I hope I'm not feeling like I'm pressuring you, like it's your responsibility. Like if you don't have the time, that's it. You don't have the time. Not a problem at all.
I think there's a key thing about this is it's kind of like with food. There is nothing wrong with sticking with the meals on the regular that it's like it's a special occasion, and on special occasions I make steak or whatever, right? You have a couple of go-tos. But there's also, it's a good thing to, when you have the opportunity and energy and time, to try new things.
I cannot agree more with that.
Yeah.
Keep going.
I'm just saying, like, if you're busy, you got that work-life balance going on, you got kids and stuff, maybe you're not experimenting as much with your meals when you have the weekend meal that you're, like, oh, it's the birthday or whatever. But if you got more time, you're cooking for yourself more often, cooking more special meals. You don't want to just cook the same thing over and over, probably. And there's merit in trying to stretch out and try new things, and pull up an Adam or Guzia video or whatever and be like, you know what? I'm going to try making these homemade bagels or whatever. So there's both sides of this for sure.
I fear new things. Malev has returned from the post office. Did you ship me my fucking demon ship box, Malev?
Yeah, send us some ghost boat.
I need it. I need it in my life. Yeah. So are you serious? Really?
Shit, yeah.
Also, skirmish games are a lot easier to sample than big army games. I mean, yes and no. Like, if you have like a Soulblight Gravelord army, for instance, for AOS, you could presumably use that in, a Saga Age of Mythic, Age of Magic.
And it depends too. The complexity of the game isn't necessarily about how many models you have. You could have a very simple, large game that uses a ton of models. You can have a very complicated game that has a few models, like Infinity. The squad size is probably 6 to 10 models, and that book is big. That's not an easy to approach game.
No, it is not.
I mean, the feedback on it seems to be that it's a resoundingly well-designed system, but it is intimidating. But it's only got 6 or 10 or 11 models on the table, so it's simple, right?
Right. And that's totally fair, too. Maybe you don't want to spend your time learning new games. And that's fine. Maybe we're the weirdos here, and we just enjoy learning new systems. That's a hard reality that I'm going to learn as well.
I mean, it's how much time do you have to dedicate to a hobby like this, right? I would love to know, like, if we could do like a big market poll. We could do a poll in our chat, but I think that it's a little skewed. But if we just like looked at everyone that plays miniature war games at least once a year, we'll set that as the minimum bar. Like, how often does the average person actually play a game? And I don't know what that number is, but I think that it's a lot lower than you and I. Particularly me. I play at least one game a week. Minimum. And I think that a lot of people, that is not the case. So.
Yeah.
And if you only get the chance to play like 4 games a year and you go to one event, right? You go to Adepticon or you go to Gen Con or something. That idea of branching out and trying new things is sacrificing your precious time to play the one game that you do know how to play and have invested in. And I totally get that.
Well, maybe we can get people playing demon shit, because it is very, very easy to get into. Not a lot of investment time in terms of painting and models. I play 1 or 2 games a month when my gaming group meets up. Cool.
I'm doing it. I'm putting together a poll because I'm just curious what our audience watching right now, how often they get to play. So
Gross.
we'll do more than once a week.
Sure, man, Frank. That could be an apt analogy. Because Scott's market is painters, not players. Most players don't care about painting or painting to an extent. Yeah, you're definitely right about that. So most of us are definitely the kind of people that largely paint and play every now and then. Scott's on the money. Demon Ship's designs inspo is big on how much we don't get to play due to complexity. Yeah.
Boom.
But the thing is that the game demo still itched a part of my strategy brain though, Malev. Like, I think games get a lot of, like, Warcry, for instance. It didn't scratch a lot of that strategy portion of my brain. And while it was simple and easier to learn, Demon Ship was so easy to figure out. And like, there were just interesting things in it that were like, oh, okay, this game is omega simple, but there's still agency for the player to have some fun with strategy, which is like super important. So yeah. A Wired Current has a question.
Yeah, I'm just pulling it up. Why isn't the featured chat thing working? Hello?
Hello?
Hello? Hello? Okay, whatever. That's fine. I have a question. I have no hand for non-metallic metal. However, I have the Darkest Dungeon board game, and their model line very heavily leans into an animated NMM. Do you have any content that you could suggest? If it helps, I can provide a picture of a character from the game if you haven't played it.
So this person wants me to recommend how to do the NMM in that video game's concept art effectively.
Yeah, I just realized that typing the Google search that I did is not going to give me the results that I want.
I live in a very remote place. I tend not to play at all. And when I do have the opportunity, I can't remember any of the rules and end up not playing anyways. It'd be amazing to see a single player game in this hobby, but it has to be done really well. I mean, you have options, brother or sister. Demon Ship was single player. Space Station Zero was single player. And while I haven't played a ton of Space Station Zero, I would say it's done well enough to be interesting and compelling. Five Parsecs from Home is a great solo game that may scratch that itch. There you go.
Scratch the itch.
There's another rec. There's so many good little games, and we need to show them off.
Let's see.
Look at that booty.
This is kind of an example of, I think, what they're talking about. Face plus web.
That's
kind
true.
of a comic book style non-metallic metal.
I mean, this is
on the armor.
Okay, this is just NMM, but it's done with more contrast.
Yeah, more defined lines, but it's the same sorts of techniques.
Yeah, less blending. So if you watch my NMM video, which I don't want to say is the greatest NMM video of all time.
It is the greatest.
But it is. No, I'm biased, but if I were a viewer on YouTube, that is the video that would give me the most value. That's because of the way that I learn and the way that I like to understand things. I'm not saying it's the best for you, but if you watch that video and you just use the logic in that video and also just blend less, have more defined layers, it will look like that.
I'm going to throw out one other recommendation on top of that, which is if you're going for a kind of comic booky cell shaded style, Marco did a great video on that about a year ago.
Oh, nice, yeah.
Animation cell style and why you should try it on minis. I mean, he's not painting NMM in that style, but he's going over like how that style you have to think about like where the shadows are and how the light works and everything as he paints up a piece that's like a one piece toy. But yeah, you combine those two things, standard NMM techniques and sort of how to break up those lines, and you're going to get there pretty quick. Cell shading refers to how cartoons are shaded on a cell sheet. So.
As a dad jumping into wargaming, painting with his boys, we have embraced indie wargames and just buying the miniatures we like that fit the theme. That's beautiful. We play at LGS. People stop by, check out what we're doing.
So far on this poll, Scott.
Cool. Yeah, what are the options?
We have more than once a week, once every week or two, once every month or so, once a quarter or so, and once or twice a year.
Okay.
And honestly, the distribution is a lot more even than I was expecting. So more than once a week is only 5% of people, but then every other category, we got once a week or two at 33%, and then the other three options are floating right around 20%.
Okay.
So there's a lot of people in our audience that really only play 12 times a year or less. That's 60+% of the audience that's voted so far anyway. And you know, if you're only getting like 10 games in a year, it can be tough to branch out.
Yeah.
I get that. You know, like if you're an Age of Sigmar player and you buy that General's Handbook and it's got 12 scenarios in it, it's very possible you won't even get to play all of them before the new one comes out, because a new one comes out every 6 months and they've got 12 in each one.
Someone also said you can play Blackstone Fortress by yourself. You're totally right. So even big game companies like GW make games that have solo play.
Mm-hmm.
And Blackstone actually isn't a terrible game. It's got a lot going on. Like there's the whole like spaceship phase of the game that like actually is quite complicated. But like the basic combat stuff is pretty simple. And, you know, it's cool. They're like envelopes you have to open. They only get to open one time. Very fucking cool. Very hype. I did start a campaign of that game and would love to continue it. Okay, cool, yeah. Did I see the Warcry Flesh Eater Courts leak? No, I did not.
I did.
You did. Is it interesting?
The theme of the box seems to be knights versus knights. It's Flesh Eater Courts knights versus my Sigmar boys knights.
Can you show me this? immediately.
Yeah, give me a second.
We're talking flesh eater courts like mounted cavalry.
No, because it's Warcry. It's all on foot, dude. But I mean, like,
No, there are knight models and there are mounted people in Warcry.
Well,
you can play Blood Knights.
Let me take a look.
Okay, you can play Blood Knights in Warcry, right? Am I right about that? Someone correct me if I'm wrong. I thought you could.
Blood Knights are OP everywhere they go.
Absolutely are. Blackstone Fortress is my gateway drug to miniatures. Sword junkie now. Nice. Oh, God, mounted is universal trait. Nice.
So many posts on the Discord, man.
Honestly, I'm a dad and have an autistic 7-year-old son. I don't get a whole lot of free hobby time, so I have to divide it between painting, playing, and Pathfinder.
Totally fair.
The 3 Ps. I tend to opt towards solo-style games like Space Station Zero or Modifius's Skyrim Call to Arms. I have kill teams and such, but I don't get to play that as often as just solo gaming. Yeah, that's totally fair.
Well, there are the Stormcast models. Where are the Flesh Eater Quartz ones? God damn it.
There's a Warcry box of Soulblight and an SCE Underworld's Warband, and it comes with a Neferata bust terrain piece. What? Really? I might buy it just for the fucking terrain, dude. That sounds so cool. All right, just doing some recess shading on these panel lines.
Life is hard, and then you die. That's what I have to say. Well, I'm just going to show you the Stormcast because that's all I care about, and that's how this works. I'm in control here.
I mean, if it's a leak, we should know about it, right?
Yeah. There you go. There's some of the stuff that was leaked last week.
Oh man, I bet you fucking love these guys.
I said I wasn't gonna buy any more Stormcast for Age of Sigmar, but guess what? It's for Warcry, so it doesn't count.
Bro, that top right guy.
That whole top row is doing it for me. The bottom row, they're all right, but that top row, I got guy carrying around like Screaming Skull Lantern thing.
Yeah.
Another Souls Vac 9000, which I'm down with, and the guy on the right with big sword, good sword. That's what's up.
Swordman is getting me a little hot and bothered. How was Adepticon? It was amazing. It was overwhelming. It was
a lot. We had a great time.
There was sadness. There was happiness.
Didn't get a lot of sleep.
Yeah. It was great. It was a great time. How was your first Adepticon, Evan?
Revelry Rocks says, I'm trying to get into Age of Sigmar. Yeah, this feature chat thing just will not work. Trying to get into Age of Sigmar. I kind of wish they would give it the 10th edition treatment. Any thoughts on that, Miniac, especially based off your video?
What's the 10th edition treatment?
Well, that's what I was going to say. Is it's kind of ironic that you say that because the sound of the announcement and basically Vince's takeaway, I'm just going to ape his words on this, is that it sounds like for 10th edition, they're embracing the design lessons from Age of Sigmar 3rd edition with moving rules out of rule books and putting them onto war scrolls, which I think they're calling data sheets for the units, where special stuff shows up there, and trying to simplify army rules and make it so there's less running around to a million different sources. But I don't know if that there won't be any. We'll see. I don't know.
Interesting.
Thank you, Leaf Strider. Fix this by logging out and logging back in or something.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how to answer that question because in a lot of ways 40K is mimicking things that are in AOS, and a lot of my critiqued current AOS, so I'm happy for 40K players, although I know nothing about the game and its problems, so. But AOS isn't making it free, no. Yeah, no, the new versions of Army books are now paid for on the app. You can't buy cheap digital versions. You have to buy the book that comes with the digital code.
Yeah.
A third of us play once every other week or more. That's quite a bit.
Roughly. That was 30% of the response, but the rest of it was less frequent. The play once a week or more option was only 4% of the audience.
So what's the plurality?
By far, it's It would lean towards being somewhere between once every month or two.
Okay.
So.
Okay. All right, we got some thicker recessed shades on the panel lines of Neffy here. And now I'm going to run through with a brighter red. And the red I have in my palette, deep red from AK, it does seem a little bit too bright. So I might need to mix it with some of this tenebrous gray on my palette to kind of tone it down a bit.
You can just smash Nuln Oil over the whole thing. Easy.
Yeah, easy. I didn't want to kill all the colors. My biggest issue is anywhere that there is a regular wargame event is at least 40 minutes from me in every single direction.
Well, the answer is
So it's not like
obvious.
a fucking issue.
Yeah, exactly. You just move. It's a good reason to buy a new place.
What am I doing? I already put this paint on palette. Do you often use fluo paints? I often use fluo magenta exclusively.
Fluo magenta, fluo pink, baby.
Beautiful color. All right, I got some red on the palette. Maybe mix some of this gray in here. Because these feet are very desaturated.
Okay, feature chat just doesn't work.
When I mixed black with the paint, it became more orange. Not totally sure why that happened, but I hate it. I do not like when red gets orange. That's a very GW Blood Angels thing. Let's try a different red from scale of 75. And then if that is failing me, we'll just use Chimera the red. It's not a bad thing that red goes orange. It's not like a thing that's, artfully a mistake. I just prefer my red to be red and my orange to be orange.
Scott's going to post like a 50s PSA style video called When Red Goes Orange, a Scourge on America.
I've never seen it got like more orange when I put black in it. I know that happens when you mix white into it. Like you can see a color's bias when you mix white into it.
Yeah, well, I mean, black and white are the same thing.
In some ways, they definitely are. So I got some more. Honestly, the red on the palette looks very similar to the red. The two reds on the palette right now look very similar. When they're at full strength. All right, let's see what this looks like now.
You'll see what my red looks like when I'm at my full power.
My full power. This is a little bit better. I am painting on top of the other stuff, so. Yeah, that one functioned a little bit better when I mixed black into it. There are dark red paints in the AK Interactive line. I could just bust those out and use those instead of what I'm doing right now, trying to mix black paint in.
I'll tell you what happened to me at Adepticon.
What happened to you?
I got space AIDS.
You got space AIDS?
No, I have like a outbreak of eczema like I've never had before in my life. You're welcome, Chad.
Do you have eczema? Is that a thing you struggle with?
Not like this. This is a new experience for me that it's like, normally it's a teeny tiny bit in the normal eczema places, and now it's like between my fingers.
Oh, damn. That's not fun.
Yeah. Thanks, Rufus.
Evan is allergic to me. It's official. I personally like bold pyro red from Procro.
Same.
Yeah. A lot of people like that red. Maybe what I'll try is just to use one of these darker reds. Dirty red, shadow flesh. They look pretty similar. Hoo-yah.
Man, Frank, what you got to recognize is that I live by the phrase stress level 0. Scott, wouldn't you tell people that I'm the least stressed person you've ever met?
You know, I feel like you need to know someone on a personal level to really know the answer to that question. But yeah, I would say you're pretty stress-free. My brother, I'm sure you said this publicly. What is the paper you use for your wet palette? I use Reynolds baking paper from the grocery store.
Although in this case, we are not using that today.
Yeah.
This is the Red Grass Game stuff, but yeah, normally it's just Reynolds.
And it is working fine, I must say.
I suppose that's true.
Chad, I'm sorry if this was out of focus the entire time.
It was close enough. If they were watching on a phone screen, they couldn't tell.
Okay.
Because that's basically what I'm doing.
Yeah, your situation is unideal.
It's true. You know, instead of just getting more monitors, there would be another solution of just getting one really big 4K one. Like getting a 40-inch 4K TV over here.
Yeah. Okay. That's certainly an idea.
Yeah.
Personally, I thought your YouTube vid on NMM was one of the best I've ever watched, and I've watched a lot. I'm getting there. It's a difficult road to paint. Thank you for the UK. You're welcome, Muzz660. Yeah, it's definitely not fucking easy. It takes a lot of effort to get that technique to work for you, and I'm still figuring it out to this day. Will you enter a mini for Meat Grinder? Bro, Meat Grinder? Okay.
Grinder.
Yes. The answer to that question is absolutely yes. Here's what Meat Grinder was, okay? There's this fucking arena where models fight, and the rules are thus. You have one model, it costs $1. You have 2 wounds. You hit on 3s, you wound on 4s, you got a 5-up save, you can move 6 inches. That's it. You go in the pit and you fight. There are traps that happen and things that explode and kill your models. When your model dies, it gets its head clipped off and the body gets put into a meat grinder, a manual one. And the person whose model died is the one who grinds their model. You grind your own model. And then the winner at the end gets all the heads put on their fucking base.
And that is the trophy.
Is
the
that
lone survivor with the heads of all the slain models.
And when they're grinding the body, everyone starts chanting grinder.
Grinder.
It was so primal. It was a beautiful vision of regression. I loved it. And I mean that in the most positive way. Like everyone was just so like animalistic. I loved it.
It was on Friday and Saturday night. And it was hype AF.
It was so hype. Oh, yeah. Everyone was just so into it. It was so much fun.
Yeah. I said to Vince that the ultimate power move would be to take a Golden Demon entry over there.
Oh my God.
That's that's the big dick moment.
Yeah, that is omega if someone did that.
They do need, the models do need to be painted is my understanding, but they don't have to be painted very well at all. They just have to have some amount of paint on them. So I know a couple people ran down to that 24-hour bits booth and bought some of the traded in minis that had paint on them that were like, yeah, sure, I want to play in the grinder. Easy.
Yeah.
It's a painting competition at its core. Yeah. Thanks, Gray Slayer.
I did enter the Space Wolf in Golden Demon, and I also entered Halgrim just because I thought I painted Halgrim this year. I thought I looked good. I didn't get anything for any of my pieces, but it wasn't a big deal. But I did enter it. So all you people who were badgering me to get it done, I did it.
You did. I will say, even though you didn't get a commended pin, they did move your Space Wolf up from the bottom to a shelf where people could actually see it.
Yeah, it was in the bottom shelf for a long time, for whatever reason. I mean, it doesn't matter.
That's how they get you.
Yeah.
Mike Genie says, so the lesson is we can bully Scott into basically anything. Hey, Scott, smoke this crack.
Dyeing my hair.
That's not bullying. That's bribing.
Sure. Smoke this crack.
Illusionary Voice says, I mean, it's not about winning. It's about the pride in the piece you did. For Golden Demon, I'm not quite sure I agree now after going through it all. I think it is about winning. And I think that's the problem with it. That's a bigger topic, though.
What about the pride? What?
The pride in like the piece you did, and your real accomplishment is the work that you put in the mini you walk away with. No, I didn't enter anything.
Yeah, I mean, so illusionary voice. I guess that's kind of my point, is that I already had pride in what I painted, and I already liked it. Putting it in, knowing it wasn't going to win, and it didn't win, didn't change anything about how I feel about my paint jobs, So I didn't understand why some people have this opinion where it's like, you're going, just put something in, It's like I don't need a participation award if I happen to put a model in a category that's like weak and I just win, I don't need that kind of validation.
If you win and you didn't think your work was good, that doesn't validate you more.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess I just didn't necessarily see the point, but it didn't matter. I did it and it was fine.
It was fun. It was good to see it in the case.
It's good to participate in community events like that as well.
There's also the other aspect of it too, that a lot of the people that come up to you and want to meet you at the con, they want to see the stuff that you paint in person.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's a great way to get it on display, is to just put it in one of the competition cases and say, yeah, I have a couple of pieces you've seen in YouTube videos.
Yeah.
Right up there in the Golden Demon case. Or in the what's the name of the creature caster one?
Resin Beast.
Resin Beast, yeah. Something like that. There is value in that, even if you're like, yeah, I didn't enter it to win, but I brought some of the stuff that I painted over the last year. And if you want to look at it in person, it's on the bottom shelf, so you have to get down on your hands and knees and put your face up against the glass. And in the back, you can see my Space Wolf.
Yeah. Yeah. So that definitely is value. Ira says, Scott, dominate Lord of the Rings. I don't know if you saw who was winning Lord of the Rings, but it's Andy Wardle and Alex Dos Santos and
those top pieces.
Other amazing painters. So it's not, it would not have been a free win.
That horse on the winner looked so good.
Yeah, Andy Wardle really did a very beautiful job on his Elrond piece. But
also, Rufus Kit subscribed with Prime 21 months.
Rufus Kit, you son of a bitch.
Dang, man.
Thanks for the support, man. Appreciate it a lot.
Oh, Rufus, I still owe you money. Shit, I'll send that to you right now.
You can take that Wardle, dude. I'll let him know that you think that. I got to meet Kaha at the Resin Beast, and I was fangirling big time. Nice, yeah. Kaha. I met Kaha briefly when I went to the Resin Beasts show, like the announcing who won it, and she was lovely. She was very nice.
I'm pulling up your Flesh Eater Quartz leaks right now.
Oh,
Mike Genie sent me the thing, so now I can theoretically find it. I just have to scroll through a YouTube video of all the fucking leaks.
The real answer is to pay a kid to submit your models to Youngbloods. That's beautiful.
Is that validating to beat up on kids?
Yes.
I mean, yeah, kind of, but really?
It kind of depends how comfortable you are in the thing that you're beating up kids in. Like, if it was Dota 2, yeah, give me the shittiest fucking mid laner. I will trounce them and feel great about it.
Show no mercy.
Yeah, because I'm shit at Dota, that's why. But yeah.
Okay, so they don't have like just a picture of all of them together, but they do have pictures of some of the models, like from the diorama shot in the pamphlet or book or whatever the leak is. So let's pull that up real quick here. Nope, that's not the right tab. God damn it. Piece of shit wristwatch. And it reset my time. God. Why is life so hard? Why doesn't the computer do what I tell it to do?
It's trying.
It's trying. 5:04. Roughly. Okay, here we go. Okay. Can we make it bigger, please?
You didn't come watch AOS? I did. I came in the room and watched some AOS.
There's one of them.
See, if that's Joe Cryer, you're right. I did not come to see you. I kind of was under the impression that you guys were just gonna play like all week long, which is dumb. It's like a 2-day event or a 3-day event, and I just did not come at the right time, unfortunately. I'm sorry. Okay.
Zoomed in photos.
Okay, that one's okay. Wait, was there a not zoomed in photo for the first one?
Not really.
Okay.
All right. They're okay.
Is there more? Surely Flesh Eater Courts can be a little different, like the models in the unit, right? Like it's just more ghoul guys.
It's kind of how I feel about it too.
It's like someone took the unit that was ghouls in the original Vampire Count's army in fantasy and was like, let's make a faction out of these guys entirely and make them all look the same. We need some new shit. Well, I don't know what that is. That might be some new shit. Wolfman, Loki,
Skeletons on his back.
Think of it as something.
I carry my family on my back.
Oh, what up, Joe? But yeah, we need like some different kinds of things in the faction. It feels like. I wonder if Scott ever painted a Stormcast Eternal on a video. Technically, I have. In the contrast paint video, I painted one with contrast paint. But that one looked like shit. So, Scott, big fan from Ireland. Love the vids. Started painting last year. I learned from your YouTube channel. Just found your Twitch channel. Whoop! What up? Thank you so much for the sub. I appreciate it, man.
I think the Stormcast are the big winners of this box for sure.
I agree. Although it seems like the boys, the Flesh Eater Courts, are kind of always the losers.
Yeah, that's true. Their concept is really cool, but their models never excite me.
Cool name though, Crypt of Blood.
Crypt of Blood. Oh wait, that's the other thing.
What is that? I saw that vampire that is awesome on the front of it.
Yeah, that's the.
Oh, that's the terrain?
No. So the Crypt of Blood one is the other Warcry thing, which brings in the Warhammer Underworld's warbands. So that one that I use for my general, here we go, with the lantern you can see down there in the bottom left.
Mm-hmm.
It's that pack plus the cool recent vampire sculpts that team of Underworld stuff.
Okay.
They're just warbands. The other thing, I don't know what that one's called. Hang on. But the terrain appears to be like this stuff.
Okay.
Like Aztec-y underworld ruins thing.
All right.
And that's pretty cool. I'm on board.
Are there other things? Where's the Neferata bust?
It's a great question. I'm glad you asked. I have no idea.
Okay.
I'm scrolling through right now looking for it, but I don't see no bust yet.
What up, Blake Arrow? I'll just keep painting then in the meantime.
Yeah, I'll go back to the paint cam while I try and find this.
But I got to finally meet Trent from Miscast Terrain, and it was beautiful. And he had a Tzeentch army that was sculpted entirely by him, and he didn't paint it necessarily, but he casted it in fluorescent colors. And he casted it in multiple colors, so he would like put one color into the mold first and not fill it up the entire way, and then he would put like the rest of the mold in.
Oh yeah, we're definitely going to be buying some of these Warcry boxes, probably.
Yeah.
The terrain from them, because the terrain is graveyard shit.
Woo! Yeah, baby.
Yeah. The Neferata thing was right up here too.
Oh yes!
There you go.
I'm cooming. Okay. Yeah. Fuck yeah.
Yep.
That's what Daddy needs. I do have quite a bit of like vampire terrain already.
Yeah, but you could have more vampire terrain.
This is true.
Maybe one of our friends can send us this box.
No.
All these boxes. Hundreds of them. Thousands of them.
Okay, got those feet all painted up. Let me just paint her boots black. I'm assuming the very last rung in this armor is just like boots, so I'm just gonna paint those black. If my rumors are correct, second death book this year is OBR, and FEC are getting theirs next year with revamp. Get it? Nice revamp. Yeah, and I also saw the announcement for the new Soul Black Gravelord book. Very hyped for that.
Big hype.
Always curious what they're gonna change.
Maybe they'll give you some better battle tactics.
Yeah, we got some wonky ones. One of them is good. I appreciate the one where it's like if a unit dies, you get points. It's because there's a lot of chaff in Soul Black Grave Wards, and you can oftentimes know when a unit of Death Rattle will die and get points for it. Hey Scott, great to meet you at Adepticon. I hope it was awesome for you as it seemed. Yeah, it always is. It's such a great time. It really, truly is. Beats the meat trees, yeah.
Yeah, if they're going to do the same thing where like 3 or 4 boxes in a row are going to have the same terrain, there's going to be a lot of vampire terrain floating around. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Incoming vampire wolf meta? That sounds kind of nice. You don't need to decide if you like vampires or lichens, just put them together.
Chat, what do you think? Are we doing this giveaway today? We only need 8 more subs to get there.
Yeah. As a reminder, you can sub to the channel for free if you have Amazon Prime with your Twitch Prime sub. And you just attach your Amazon Prime to your Twitch account, and you can sub to 1 free channel a month that you have to re-up. It doesn't happen automatically. But yeah, there's little instructions in the chat if you're unfamiliar with that process. The Assyrian True Blades, pretty good. You know, they are pretty good. I dropped them into AOS Stats Hammer, whatever that website's called, to see how they compare to Graveguard. And while they don't output as much damage as Graveguard, they just have a fuckload of utility. Like it's a very interesting unit. I kind of want to try them out. Scummy McBalls. Thanks for the sub account. Thanks for the sub. I feel like this might be an off box for Barnes & Noble or some big box retailer since it's reusing Underworld's Warband. Oh, maybe, yeah. Graveguard are mean. They are very mean, Dan. And you know that for sure. Did I get to try Shatterpoint? I absolutely did, and I really enjoyed it. It was one of my favorite games to demo at Adepticon. Had a lot of interesting ideas. Solved some minor problems that I have with miniature war games and introduced some new mechanics that were fun and pretty compelling. Which game? Shatterpoint. How did the minis for Shatterpoint look up close? I mean, they're quality models. Hey, anonymous gifter just gifted 5 subs. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Boom, 50.
And then Route the Great and Overlord Bleak with 2 more Prime subs. Thank you, guys. I mean, it was a little similar to MCP, but not enough to call it the Star Wars MCP. You know, one thing I just remembered about it that I really liked is that it has an attack mechanism similar to Guild Ball, in that you roll a number of dice, you compare it to some amount of armor stats, you have a net hit amount, say you have 3 net hits after, like, you know, looking at all the armor and shit like that, and then you apply that number of hits to a tree on your character card. And you follow the tree and it branches and stuff. And every single result you hit is cumulative. So say you got 3 net hits, you go down the branch 3 times, and each node in the branch is a thing you get in your attack, whether it's 1 damage, whether it's pushing somebody, whether it's getting an effect on your card. It felt very much so like Guild Ball in that regard. And there were 2 trees on each card on either side of the card, so you could like be in a different stance, say, and change the kind of options you had, whether it was more defensive or more offensive. Empleon, 1, 2, 3, thanks to the Prime sub. That was really cool. I love that idea.
We also had Overlord Bleak and Route the Great both subscribing with Prime.
Thank you guys.
So yeah, I'm starting the giveaway.
Okay, doing a giveaway today for this 1985 Games mini crate box. It is a mystery box. I don't know if these things are popular anymore, but you don't know what comes in them, but it's like a bunch of fun models, and the value I believe is $50. It's 50 or 40, I believe, worth of models and other materials. Exclamation mark moist in the chat to possibly win. Widow Goblin, nice to meet you at the con. So yes, moist in the chat to enter for the mysterious box giveaway.
Only the most mysterious boxes are featured on our stream.
Mysterious.
My favorite part about Adepticon, at least so far, knock on wood, not getting sick.
Yeah, same. Ben and Vince both tested positive for COVID.
Yeah, I saw Vince say that he was taking it easy in bed today in the stream chat for...
Travarian.
Yes, thank you. My brain was blanking.
You're good. Yeah, me too. I saw that.
Get better soon, other me.
Can we get a live moist from Scott? Yeah, so Evan dressed as Vince on one day, and we were walking around the expo hall, and I shit you not, 3 people thought he was Vince.
They walked for your content, man. It's so helpful.
Yeah, they walked up and said that. They walked up, they're like, "Oh, Miniac, oh Vince, love your guys' channels. You guys are awesome." And no one said anything. We did not correct them. It was hilarious.
I mean, a lot of people recognized me as real fake Vince, and you know, like there were quite a few that approached me from far away, thinking I was him, and then like when they were like 20 or 15, they kind of clearly realized I wasn't, but still were like, "I love your cosplay." But there were 3 people that legitimately just. Either they played it completely smooth, or they just legitimately thought, "Man, Vince is really tall in person."
That was hilarious.
Somehow, Huddleston and I
didn't see Huddleston.
I didn't either. We managed to avoid each other the whole day, and I was dressed as Vince for like 15 hours. So, it was something. I'm hoping for more people next year. I want more. If you're a member on the Discord, so that means you're a subscriber or you are a patron person, you have access to the Discord. I did post pictures of me as Vince and me and Vince together. Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for, Whittle Goblin. I mean, like... My dream is like 5 years from now that like Friday at Adepticon is Vince Day and hundreds of people dress as Vince. We could even have a Vince cosplay event where we judge it and the best Vince wins a Vince trophy or something. Truly the dream.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah. The Vince cosplay event presented and sponsored by Miniac. Miniac and Ninja. Yeah, exactly. Vince enters every year, doesn't win.
It's this Eldritch Deutsch, I don't know how to pronounce that name. This is Neferata from Age of Sigmar. Someone asked why I painted the mount. The mount is in a similar state of work in progress.
The Golden Vinci.
The Golden Vinci.
That is a fun fact, Ben McBradbury. Reminds me of Charlie Chaplin. He lost a Charlie Chaplin lookalike contest once. Rip.
That's pretty funny. It's hard to paint around battle damage. I painted this model with the assumption that I wasn't going to paint it very well, which is why I applied the battle damage before I did any shading of any kind, or brush hiding of any kind, and I am regretting it because it's very difficult to paint around it without just painting over it. But I'm making it happen. Here's why you're gone.
Yeah, I had pretty high expectations for Adepticon because of how positively you and John both speak of it. And it met them. It may have exceeded them. Also, you guys didn't see it, but I was watching the We'll Be Right Back little preview thing I had, and the DVD thing, it hit the corner. It happened.
Fuck.
And you guys didn't get to see it.
It happened. I think all these fun facts come full circle back to painting contest. Judges a lot of the time don't know what they're talking about. Maybe. Or like a lot of things, judging a contest like that is subjective.
Yeah, you're kind of crowding the shot today, by the way, Scott.
Okay.
I think it's because you've got the camera a little higher than normal.
Okay.
We do have a giveaway going. If you are in a location that doesn't normally allow you to enter raffles or anything like that, please don't enter, but otherwise it's !moist in the chat. You only must be a follower so that we can send you a message easily to collect your info for shipping. It is for one 1985 Games Big Trouble Box, which is kind of their monthly mystery box. So if you haven't typed !moist yet, and that sounds like something you'd be interested in, get in the chat and do it.
Being moist.
Getting moist. Nothing but the moistest. That's going to go for another 12 minutes and 30 seconds. So it's going to wrap up basically right before we end. Look at all those moisties in the chat.
Moisties.
Pretty good turnout. 107 so far. You know, it's a Big Trouble box, but I do not believe it is themed after Big Trouble in Little China. I've seen that come up a couple times. And yes, that is initially what I thought as well. And then I looked at it, and it's actually just kind of a generalized, interesting models and stuff like that box. Illusionary Voice, the timer is now at 11 minutes and 52 seconds.
What's going on with this chin thing? She's wearing like a bike helmet or something, and she needs to strap her giant fucking helmet on her face because it'll fall off otherwise? What's with the chin thing?
You know, to protect your chin in case she's knocked off her mount.
Okay.
PSAs say you gotta always wear your helmet, Scott.
Even when you're riding a giant infernal undead beast.
Yeah, you know how it is. You're higher up then, so the helmet's even more important. That's why it's so big.
Wait, what's with all the moist commands? We are wrapping a giveaway. With the release of the new Soulblight Gravelord book, do you feel more excitement about the army and AOS in general? I like that your video questions some issues with the game, and I would like to see it addressed in future editions. I mean, I think I'm excited for Soul Blight Gravelar just because it's fun to get new shiny stuff. But it doesn't change anything about how the game operates, right?
Nerd Gamer Man subscribing.
Nerd Gamer Man. Thanks for this up. Yeah, I think it would be a little funny if I thought that Age of Sigmar was suddenly a better game just because my army got updated. I mean, AOS 4.0 should be coming out at some point. Because
should be next year.
The games
are
on
a 3-year cycle.
Yeah, they're on 3-year cycles, and so should be sometime next year.
Yeah, that's the right call. More Stormcast. 4.0 launch, new Stormcast. Uh-oh.
Part of me wants to just repaint all this red armor, but because I love this character, and I just should paint it nicely, but I don't think I'm going to do that. Should I? I'm excited to see how Combat Patrol matches pan out with the new 40k rules. I've gone from buying models to printing most myself. Am I part of the problem or the solution? What's the problem with that? And what solution would you be solving, or what issue would you be proliferating by printing? Bring back Wood Elves to AOS. Old World will get Wood Elves if it doesn't flop. Yeah, for sure. The unreasonable pricing GW has on the hobby, or the death of miniature gaming, I guess. No, I don't think you are the cause, nor are you entirely the solution to the problem. I think GW is often seen as the only option to a lot of people, when in reality it really isn't. There are a lot of games and ranges that have fairly priced things. And 3D printing is one solution to the problem, obviously, but there are many other solutions as well.
Death to the sprue.
I don't necessarily agree with that.
That's the attack on like the GW pricing model, is definitely the at-home 3D printing thing.
I got you.
In which the war cry is death to the sprue.
What did Bowl Soup say?
Bowl of Soup says, as a beginning painter, I've been wanting to get a quality base set of paints. I'm currently thinking Pro Acryl or Scale 75. I understand that Pro Acryl is more beginner friendly, but the high skill ceiling and versatility of Scale 75 is attractive to me.
It's a fair question. I would say firstly, you probably don't need to buy a whole range of paints like from anybody. You can probably just get like the stuff you need. Obviously that changes based on your situation. Like if you have a lot of stuff that you can't get in your local area and you need to buy some expensive thing that will ship from Europe and you want to make the most of your shipping costs, then in that situation, maybe you would prefer to buy a lot of paints at once. But I think for the most part, buying sets of paints, like say like I don't know, like maybe AK has like a set of paints that's like an interesting color to you. Starting with that as opposed to buying all fucking 300 and some paints is much more economical. But I think Pro Acryl is a totally adequate paint range for high level painting and easy painting. I don't think like you won't be able to get nice results with that paint range. But if I had to recommend a range, yeah, I mean like Vallejo or AK Interactive seem to be like really good all-comer ranges.
As I said in chat, Pro Acryl all day, every day. If you really just want to buy a box that has a bunch of paints in it to get started, and that's how I got started in the hobby, I bought the Army Painter one, and I have given all those paints away since then. I bought the Pro Acryl one later on, which is 24 paints, and it's a good wide range to get you started. And it's a pretty good deal. It's like $100. That's what I got my brother. And he just started painting minis. So, but man, that AK 3rd Gen briefcase is so tempting to me. It's bad.
Malev's saying he's gonna fly out. I mean, Malev, if you want to spend the money to come and hang out with us, I'll absolutely put you up in my house and feed you and stuff. We'll play any game you want on stream and have you on the podcast and shit.
I'm so down with all these ideas because Malev is cool people.
Yeah.
And we enjoy raiding.
Say less.
We like hosting cool people. We're going to have Vince and Adam back out again at some point here.
We are, yeah. There's just so many fun things we could do, like because we have the podcast, because everything happens in the same place. So we could do so many things. And that's not even mentioning making a video, which is generally speaking a much more complicated process. Yeah. How does AK Interactive paint finish? I would say it leans definitely matte for sure. It isn't the mattest paint range that I'm familiar with, but it's definitely matte.
Hey, we got 3 minutes left in this giveaway for a 1985 Games Big Trouble mystery box. So if you're interested in that and you're in an area that allows you to enter raffles and giveaways, !moist in the chat.
Ugh. Trying to stabilize my fingers for recess shading on Neferata's like weapon. Not the most stable grip. All right, let's try a different approach. How about this angle? Yeah, this is better. Is AK as liquid as Pro Acryl? No, Pro Acryl is much more fluid. AK is a little bit thicker.
Pro Acryl I would describe as being very similar to Reaper in consistency, where it doesn't really need to be thinned out of the bottle for base coating. Or if it does need thinning, it's very minimal, whereas with AK feels a lot more like Vallejo in consistency. Or Citadel or whatever, any of those kinds of medium bodies.
Is this the start of TendyCon? Having Malev over? Maybe.
Scott, the real reason you need to get a bigger house so we can have all of the people come out at the same time.
Should I buy a convention center?
You know, that would be a banger of a YouTube video. I moved into a convention center.
OSW Zenkiki, thanks for the Prime sub. Thanks for the chill stream today and your thoughts on Shatterpoint. You're very welcome. Do you guys not like army painters? I have never used them really, so I don't really have much of an opinion.
I think they're fine. Their regular paints are my least favorite stuff that they make. Their speed paints, pretty good. I am excited to try out Speed Paints 2.0. I think their airbrush paints, they're okay, what I've used. I like a lot of their hobbying products. I use their wet palettes. But their regular paint range is something that you kind of have to work against to get the result that you want, in my opinion. It can be done. It's not terrible by any stretch. But I like tools that kind of get out of my way. And I think that that's generally the consensus. And I never felt that way about Army Painter paints. So there is a big bucket of them at the source. Many of them came from me. Some of them came from other painters. We also have other brands in there. But they're the paints that we have no personal need for. But sometimes you just need a color. And it's paint night. And it's like, is there a heather blue that I can use? Hey, look at that. There's one in here. Do I like AK more than Pro Curl? I haven't used AK 3rd Gen that much. When I was painting on stream last week while Scott was finishing up his Space Wolf, that was my biggest experience with them. I've used them a little bit at paint night, but I am a Pro Curl stan. I have the full paint range in my box, and I can't really justify buying a bunch of AK 3rd Gen because I'm perfectly happy with what I have, other than, you know, the SpongeBob meme of yelling I need it and buying things I don't need. So they are good. I do like that the AK range, Pro Acryl, I think if you buy every paint that they make right now, there's like 80 total or something like that. It's really not that wide a range. So you are kind of doing a lot of your own mixing and blending. Whereas with AK, the 3rd Gen box is like 300 paints. Every option you could conceive of and then some.
Someone asked if I was going to make my own signature series, and the wheels are kind of set in motion with Chimera paints to make a Chimera paint set that I would like. But that is probably like 2 years away, year and a half away. But not for Procro. But yeah. I think it's good. I'm always like, I don't like to, I think in the future at some point, I'd like to like be involved in every element of this hobby. But there are certain things that I know for a fact I'll never do. And one of those things is work on a paint range. I just don't think I'm ever gonna like be interested in doing that or have the energy to really do that. And if I do, it's gonna be a long time from now. So I don't feel really bad about like working with a third party to create something that I'm not gonna do for a very long time or never.
Time's up. Let's do this. Picking a winner. Kehestelos is our winning nice name. If you're in the chat, well, I sure hope you are, because otherwise you're not going to win. Sound off. I probably pronounced your name wrong, so let's everyone at this guy or gal like this until they respond. And if they don't respond in a couple minutes, we pick another one. Oh, well, that was quick. How disappointing. I was hoping we would get a bunch of people doing it. Cool. I'll send you a message in a second here. If I can. Kestelos. It's basically what I said. Close enough. Hey, we need your name and email address and shipping address. I'm making the same joke that I did last week on stream, where I talk and type at the same time.
Very good joke. Sir, I have to ask, as your stream, how many of the assets as reference do you find or use the camera feed on your facing monitor while painting to be? Bruh. Am I just being an idiot and reading this wrong?
Okay, let me try and decipher this. I have to ask.
No, okay, I know what it is. He's asking how valuable do I think having a monitor is while painting. It's incredibly valuable.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It is. I might say it is necessary. It is. It's not. But like as someone who's been doing this for 7 years, even with this thing, I still am in front of the model the entire time. And I would, if I were a beginner painter, and it's like you could just get a cheap computer monitor. It doesn't need anything special. A lot of cameras have an HDMI on them, whether it's micro or full size, and it doesn't even matter if it's a clean HDMI out or not. Like you just need to be able to see what your camera sees, because if you paint a whole model or a large portion of a model, and then bring it into your editor, and you're like, holy fuck, my head was in the way for 80% of the process, you don't have a video. So not worth taking the risk. Unless you have a certain setup that guarantees you're never gonna get in the way of the model, just, you kinda need it.
I keep the camera in my face. It's in my mouth.
I mean, fucking Midwinter does that.
Yep.
Trying to get some highlights on this helmet thing. It's hard. I'm kind of just running over the weathering that's currently there. It's easy enough to put it back on in this one small spot. Okay, got one half of the head painted up. Time to work on the other half, or sorry, the headdress thing. I paint like I have Parkinson's, about to just learn airbrushing. I don't know if that's gonna solve your problem if you legitimately have issues similar to Parkinson's. Rebel Rocks says, bye y'all, have to go get you on the next time. All right, awesome. See you next time. It's all about multiple points of contact. Okay, your elbows down, your forearms on a surface, model comes together, your hands are touching. You're even stabilizing your finger with your pinky on your plinth or on parts of the model. Like my paint handle is put into the palm of my other handle. Like, you know, I have a little bit of a shake, right? It's tiny, it's there, but after all these points of contact, I'm pretty rock solid.
I gotta say, I have something to share with chat that some people are gonna be really sad about. One of my miniatures that I painted on stream last week did not make it back from Adepticon.
RIP.
The 3D printed angel I had somehow fell out of the box and got like absolutely smashed.
That sucks.
Yeah, it's fine. I wasn't that far on it, so I'm not too cut up about it, but sometimes it happens.
Moose660. No, I suppose I don't find it helpful while I am painting, because I don't have like chameleon eyes. I can't like look at the monitor while I'm literally painting. But like, what I can do is I can get in a position how I feel comfortable painting, and I can like glance over at my monitor to see where I'm at with my head and my glasses and stuff vaguely, and start from there. Because what I often do, or what I've discovered I do, is I'll like put the model where I want it to be like, okay, that focus looks good, ready to go. And then I start painting. And then it's like, okay, well, that wasn't helpful. So you kind of gotta lean into your position first, check it, and then start painting. And a big brain move is to have your monitor like basically in a place where you can see it while painting. I have it over here for video purpose reasons. Like this corner of my set is interesting, so I don't want to have a big black monitor in the way, so I put it on my right. But I preferably would have it maybe more central so that I can actually face it while I'm painting, or paint like this.
I have, when I have hosted the stream before, moved the monitor really close to the camera as much as possible. And we can do that. It is possible.
Mm-hmm.
It just requires a little extra setup.
Nano DCS. Thanks for the prime sub.
So just about to say that.
Yeah.
Time goes fast. Happy to be a consistent lurker. 4 months.
We appreciate you too. Do I have a rec for a camera lens? Yeah, it kind of depends on the camera you have though, right? Like if you rock Sony cameras, me recommending a lens isn't going to do anything good for you. But here's what I'll say about what makes a good miniature painting camera lens. Minimum focus distance. It doesn't need to be a macro lens to have really good minimum focus distance. I would say anything that's like 6 inches is pretty useful. Yeah, that's pretty much it. The closer you can get to the model, the better. Are you a big fan of Neferata? Yes. I love Neferata. I painted her. I read her big book in AOS. I've always read about Neferata and all the army books for vampire counts and everything and beyond. Familiar with her lore from Lamia and all the
lore.
Very, very far back stuff.
There we go. Now I'm getting it.
Is she for your army, Golden Demon, or Funsies? She's for my army. Let's see if I can increase the exposure a little bit remotely. Yeah. Red is a hard color to expose for.
Particularly like really red reds, cameras often struggle with.
Yeah.
You'll notice when I go to the face cam, for instance, that light behind Scott, that little wire light, it appears red on this camera, but it doesn't really capture just how like red that light really is. And on other cameras, it actually like blows out into orange. So
this is true. Someone asked, what's the best way to hold a model for comfortability and for... correct, Alric, this is a fantasy model. Hold the paintbrush for control and comfortability. I think comfortability is kind of like up to you. You're gonna know what's most comfortable for you, but you wanna hold it kind of like a pencil, right? Some people will hold it like this, like a claw grip, and I don't know. I would never hold a paintbrush like this. It's kind of weird, but like a pencil, kind of like this. All the control and your motor skills comes from your fingertips. Like fighter jets, when they hold a joystick for flying a plane, they'll basically like hold it with the ends of their fingertips so they can do like the most minute changes in direction with their jet that they're flying. So all the power comes from your fingertips for dexterity's purpose. Like whenever you hear someone talk about being all thumbs, it's like the thumb is kind of like the least dexterous finger you have. But yeah, the rest of your fingers combined together with like the thumb as a nice anchor point gives you a lot of dexterity. It braces better. Yeah, the claw grip I'm not a huge proponent of. But like honestly, you just do whatever's comfortable for you. I'm not going to tell you that you shouldn't grab your brush like a claw. You can do whatever you want.
Whatever gives you the most control and stability and works for you is just fine.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
The claw.
People tell me I have crab grip. Well, I have bad news, Jackson Westland.
Crab grip.
You might be a crab. You might be an undersea crustacean. Western praying mantis style gung fu.
Vince loves the claw grip. Yeah, I'm sure. See ya, Krunstall. Yeah, the Vince bootleg stickers were hilarious.
I want those to become actual merch.
If you haven't seen those stickers,
Yeah, you know what? We should be showing those off.
you should see them. I have a lot of stickers. Okay. First of all, here's the fucking vampire one. This one is so fucking hilarious.
It's also like shiny foily if you're not catching that.
You can see the glasses and the edge on
Yeah.
the foil. That's so funny. And this was made by HUD. Well, not Huddleston, but HUD, HUDD. Which I don't know if actually Huddleston is HUD.
He is, yeah.
Okay. I didn't know if that were the case. So I did see you then, HUD. Okay. And then the two Vince ones were these ones.
Fist of the North Star Vince and sure.
Perfect. What the fuck are you doing in here, Alex? Get back to work. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Otherwise known as his code is compiling.
Did you? Yeah, I know shit. Did you finish uploading the course to the YouTube?
I had a question.
Okay. Okay.
On-air production meetings.
They will be done by the end of the day.
Cool. Yeah, you fucking better.
Please don't whip me, sir. The courses are done. Only bottleneck now is those 32 millimeter minis.
No, that's not true. I haven't finished my course yet.
The only bottleneck now is those 32 millimeter minis, and Scott has to do his fucking job.
Yep. Got it written. Just need to shoot it now, and then Alex can start editing it.
Mycelium Vein says, where can I get this as a wall flag about the stickers?
Fridge magnets. There you go.
Yeah.
Please, that's the course I paid for. You're gonna get it. I will never forget.
Full product line with Vince propaganda posters is where I'm at. Shirts, mugs, challenge coins, full car vinyl wraps. Oh, yeah. The old sticker vending machines. Yeah. Now we're talking. Con Loki, the stickers are not available for sale. They were given away at Adepticon as fan art. I know that HUD sent an email to Vince offering them to, do we want to sell them through me? Do you want to sell them through your store? But Vince is currently dealing with con crud, so. I promise you, if those do become a commercial product, we will tell you. Scott doesn't have a choice in the matter. I will throw up the link constantly every time we talk about Vince, because they're amazing. I gave those away all day as I was dressed as Vince. I will say that the Sure sticker was given away a lot more than the Fist of the North Star one, because I gave people the choice, and that was people's preference, but that's because they're classless, tasteless heathens. Don't know about ancient anime. Yeah.
I have two.
He's got two. There you go.
I mean, I kind of want it to be, honestly.
It looks good.
Yeah.
It legit looks good.
It's perfect. See, that's the kind of sticker that I don't think that I would make people pay for it individually, but it would be the kind of thing that you throw in with every purchase.
Sure.
Like that's the 2023 sticker, and next year there's something new.
That'd be fun.
It's the kind of sticker I just want to go and put in random places around the city.
I agree. Yeah, just like sticking on bus stops and stuff. What the hell is this vampire guy?
Yes. That would be hilarious.
Scott, how are you feeling about where we were at for today?
I'm feeling pretty good. I finished up the headdress, the legs, and the abdomen. I got our neck armor left. But I am ready to call it. We're gonna head out for now. We should find someone to raid though.
Yeah, I was looking at this earlier. We got quite a few options today. Miniac is streaming, and that's always pretty.
Italian Spartacus, thank you for the sub.
Hell
Sorry, not
yeah.
the sub, the raid. Apologies, guys. We're just ending our stream right now, so we're gonna head out. But thank you so much for the raid.
We're gonna take you with us on. It's a bigger raid now. We're all.
Yes, we boarded the big ship, and now we're headed out somewhere else.
We got Mohawk. We got Jimmy the Brush. We've got Higgy TV. I don't know what Higgy TV is. Oh no, they're not painting. Never mind. I take that back. We got Mohawk. We got Jimmy the Brush. Pacoxo 88.
Pacoxo 88.
PACOXO 88.
Oh, how many viewers? What are they painting?
They got 52 viewers, and they're painting. Looks like a dwarf.
I've never heard of that person, so maybe we should raid them for the first time.
Let's do it.
All right, we're gonna head you over to a streamer that we don't know how to pronounce their name.
Truly
We've
Truly professionals
before. So be nice.
Oh,
What?
I think he's Spanish.
Okay, maybe not Spanish then. Not because I don't like Spanish people, because people in this chat speak English largely. Just kidding, we're not gonna do that. I want a life-size cardboard Vince I can stand next to my paint table. I pay more. Yeah, there you go. You're very welcome, guys. Thank you for hanging out.
We'll do Mohawk today.
Do Mohawk?
He's doing a giveaway. You guys might be able to win something.
Oh, nice. There it is. We'll do Mohawk miniatures today. Thank you guys for all the support. We had a ton of subs that came in at the beginning of the stream and also during the stream as well.
Yeah, we're already 4 to our next giveaway. I don't know what that's going to be, but you can find out next week.
Tifo Tape, thanks for the sub. Did we start at 0, Evan? Or the little
We started a little above that. We got about 50 subs this stream.
50 subs? Amazing. That's good. That's above average for sure. Yeah, guys, thanks for hanging out. We'll send you over to Mohawk for now, but we'll be streaming again next week, same time, same place. And then that Thursday, so not next week, but the following Thursday, we'll be doing a gaming stream with Frostgrave. So yeah, next stream is 1 week from now, next Tuesday. But otherwise, y'all, we will catch you on the flippity flop. Thanks for hanging out. Peace!